Coming up on the All Access Pass, a region championship is on the line tonight. A Parkview win, and the Panthers are in. But if the cards fall right, South Gwinnett could win the championship as well. Plus, I'll tailgate country club style, and you'll meet a South Gwinnett linebacker who's on the comeback trail.
And we'll go round and round with a hula hoop standoff on our cheerleader challenge tonight. Plus, we're going to whip you into shape with our ultimate lunchbox makeover as it becomes an ultimate boot camp. Plus, David Zelski is stargazing tonight as the Comets prepare for game day on Catch the Spirit. Gil?
Jen, I get to hang out with the South Gwinnett Marching Band Stars. Richard McKinley, the band leader, 85 strong. And I'll tell you what, John Nelson's going to drop by, lay some knowledge on us. And I'm so glad, Mark Harmon, I went and stayed in school. And we're going to tell you why it's important to do so, too.
It's all coming up on the All Access Pass on Football Fridays in Georgia, next on GPB. Welcome to Week 11 of Football Fridays in Georgia here on Georgia Public Broadcasting. You're looking live at Richard Snell Community Stadium in Snellville, Georgia, where tonight a region title is at stake as the 7-2 Parkview Panthers collide with the 7-2 Comets of South Gwinnett. With a win, Parkview is in, but if the cards fall right, South Gwinnett could win the region title as well. I'm Mark Harmon. Jen Hobby from The Bird Show is alongside as always. Can you believe it? It is the final game of the regular season already?
I can't believe we are here already. It feels like we just got started. I know there is so much on the line tonight. It's going to be an exciting one.
And the playoffs are right around the corner.
Right around the corner. You're right. And tonight's game is a rivalry for Gwinnett County for the Region 8 Championship. We want you to be able to follow along with us online at gpb.org/sports, where you can join in on the conversation and follow right along. We'd also love for you to like us on Facebook and follow the great videos that are up there from Grace. There's photos, behind the scenes footage, and last but not least, download the GPB Sports app. It's so easy to do from the Apple Store. You got scores and schedules. You've also got 360-degree tours of the high school stadium, so you can download the app for free. I did it. Took just a couple of seconds, and it is absolutely free.
It's so easy. I might be able to do it, but it's a good time to get it because the playoffs are next week.
That's right, and you want to follow along wherever you are, whether you're in front of the set or not.
All right. Thanks very much. Now, let's check in with John Nelson because alongside is the head coach of the Comets of South Gwinnett. John?
Thank you, Mark. Here with the head coach. It's a big night on a bunch of different fronts. When was the last time you were in a night like this where so much could happen?
Well, it's I can't remember a night that we've been in a situation like this at South Gwinnett, and we're very excited about the opportunity we have tonight. I'm very proud of our kids for the hard work they put in to get us into this position.
You talk about the hard work. Talk about this group of seniors here on senior night and what they've meant to the program.
These guys have really set the bar high for the groups that are coming behind them. A group that loves each other, works hard with one another, and couldn't be proud of a bunch of kids and very excited about the opportunity they have tonight.
All right, well, good luck. We'll catch up with you tonight as we go.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's it from the head coach, Mark. That's one side of the battle. The other side, we know that Parkview's coming ready to play.
Hey, you know, John, South Gwinnett loves to throw the ball all over the football field. Parkview likes to run it right down the middle. What about the Panthers?
Well, the biggest issue that the Panthers have is the loss of Chris Carson, their star 1,000-yard running back. He's gone for the season, but Parkview has had elements this year where they've had wildcat formations and a bunch of different running backs take over. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Carson out, how everyone else picks up the slack.
All right, John, go track down Cecil Flo, the Parkview coach. We'll talk to him in just a minute.
Will do.
All right, it is a great night for high school football. It is absolutely fantastic night, and we're looking forward to it. A region championship is at stake. Region 8 is on the line. Parkview could win it, South Gwinnett could win it, or Grayson could win it. So we'll see what happens there. But in all, it is senior night here. It is a big night here at Richard Snell Community Stadium.
It is. You can feel the energy in the air tonight. And game day is a really big deal here at South Gwinnett. So we're going to check in with David Zelski, who was here to catch the spirit with the Comets today, right?
That's right. Caught the spirit and ate well. You know, these students here are well fed. That's a good thing. That's part of it is because they have such great community support from parents and a lot of the backers here. They really like to support the students that are here. And what's great is I got to go have lunch with them and also got to hang out with one of their strongest supporters.
This is a typical lunch on game day at South Gwinnett.
Go South!
Not much eating, mostly entertaining.
Tonight is our senior night. The game starts at 8 o'clock.
When you're trying to get in the spirit of South Gwinnett, how about talking to Dana Doster? Your kids don't even go here anymore, but she's still here every football game, putting up banners and helping bring food to some of the kids.
Well, on Fridays, we have pregame meal, and I will go about 2 o'clock every Friday and pick up meals from vendors around town who donate food to us and bring it back here, and they'll eat and then go back and get ready for the game.
That looks perfect, because we'll be able to pull up the middle a little bit.
Dave, I could use a little more help and less supervising.
Oh, yeah, well, I was checking the geometry. Touchdown Club is not just about banners, they're about special effects too. What do we got going here?
Well, what we're going to do is as the team comes out, we're going to use some CO2 fire extinguishers.
Okay.
They'll be spraying them in the air, create a cloud of smoke for the team to run through as they're getting ready to come out. I'm going to hold it about this angle right here.
Woo! It's cold. So during this game, please admire my work on the fence. Perfect. And watch for the smoke, because I hear the Comets will be on fire tonight.
What's the prediction tonight?
48-0.
48-0.
Shutout.
Y'all gonna score some points, aren't you?
I said 48.
That looked like a lot of fun.
It was. Gary's pretty funny, I gotta say. And you know, this is the third week in a row we've had a astronomical number to 0 when it comes to the predictions. I mean, they're playing Parkview, but it could happen.
It could happen. It could happen. I'm wondering if we can get some of that CO2 for Mark Harmon when he walks in. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Big bang. Big bang. We should do that. He would love it.
And, David, I understand you've got some brand new episodes coming up for Georgia Traveler, right?
Definitely. I'll tell you about the one coming up Sunday. I just got to say 3 things. Pizza, beer, and the Allman Brothers. How about that? All in one show.
Well, we will look forward to it. Make sure that you check in with David and company on Georgia Traveler, and that is going to be Sunday night at 7 on GPB. All right, I think we're checking in with Mark over there. Mark, what's going on?
Well, you know, Jen, tailgating and good food is a big part of the high school football scene, and so we're doing our What's Cooking segment, and tonight we're going to tailgate country club style. We have Don Britt, the general manager of the Summit Chase Country Club. We've got his executive chef, Stephen Chandler, alongside. So talk a little bit about the fact that you're very well connected here at South Gwinnett High School. You're a grad.
I'm a 1985 graduate, a long time ago, I guess now. But love to be part of the South Gwinnett Comets, played basketball here, and happy to be here and watch the Comets take a region title.
And a lot of the schools, the teams practice over there at your facility.
Absolutely. The golf team, the tennis team, and the swim team all practice at our facility. We're proud to have them.
Now, Summit Chase is a great place to be over there. Talk a little about you and your family. You've owned it for over 30 years.
Absolutely. Been there since 1980. The club actually celebrates its 40th anniversary this year, and we're just proud to be part of the Snellville community. Proud to be from Snellville.
All right, time to do a little tailgating now. Stephen, it's your turn. Talk about what you got here.
All right, we have a Southwestern wrap. You have a tomato tortilla with a Southwestern chicken, roasted peppers, olives, and a jalapeno cheese. You have a shredded pork smoked taco with coleslaw and a pickle salsa. And we're going to do a lettuce wrap and with the same ingredients pretty much of what we're doing with the wrap.
All right, now the key thing, you said we're going to do a lettuce wrap, so let's show me how to do this thing.
All right, we're going to take a
What do you got on there, first of all?
You got a Southwestern cream cheese, and it's got the blackened seasoning, a little Cajun, and a little Caribbean in it.
Cajun, all right.
So we got that on there, and then we're going to lay out some jalapeno jack cheese.
All right, we'll put some cheese out there, helping out just a little bit. Maybe I'm distracting, I don't know. What else we got?
Some roasted red peppers.
Peppers.
And some sauteed onions and green peppers.
All right, green peppers, onions. We'll put that right there.
Black olives.
Black olives, everybody.
And your Southwestern chicken.
Southwestern chicken, all right.
So then you're going to take that.
All right, wrap that baby
roll
up
your
there.
ends in.
Now this is like good for you.
This is better for you.
Yeah.
You know, for those that's on the gluten-free or a health kick, you know, these are really good.
All right, let me try this gluten-free thing. Man, that's really tangy, tasty, and delicious. Well, listen, Stephen, Don, we thank you very much for coming over here. Good luck to you at your place there, Summit Chase Country Club.
Thank you very much for having us.
All right, Jen, This is so good. I may not even come back for the set. It is wonderful.
It looks so good over there and healthy too, with the lettuce as the wrap instead of the tortilla. It's a great idea.
Can you believe it? I like healthy stuff now.
I know. I'm so impressed, Mark. All right. We've got so much more coming up for you right here on Football Fridays in Georgia's All Access Pass when it continues right here on GPB.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is made possible in part by Regions Bank. It's time to expect more. Georgia's Electric Membership Corporation, lighting the way. Technical College System of Georgia, learn more, earn more. And by viewers like you, thank you.
The wheels of progress haven't been very active lately. But because of business people like you, things are beginning to get rolling, and Regions is here to help, making it easier with the expertise and service to keep those wheels turning. From business loans to cash management, we want to be your partner moving forward. Let's get going together.
As leaders in our communities, Georgia's locally owned and operated electric membership corporations are proud to sponsor GPB Sports and the Georgia High School Association. Georgia's electric cooperatives are committed to providing safe, affordable, and reliable electricity to our members. We are dedicated to building strong communities by helping Georgia's student athletes become the leaders of tomorrow. Georgia's electric membership corporations, lighting the way.
You have to seize any advantage you can get to build a career, even while you're still in high school. That's why the Technical College System of Georgia offers dual enrollment. You earn college and high school credit at the same time, saving you money on college tuition. It's about your future. Dual enrollment jumpstarts your college education and prepares you for work in exciting career fields. Talk to your parents, school counselor, or a TCSG college about dual enrollment, or go to tcsg.edu.
GPB, winner of 11 Emmy Awards, including Station Excellence. Thank you for your support.
Welcome back to our GPB All Access Pass pregame show as we get ready for the Parkview Panthers to collide with the Comets of South Gwinnett. Remember, on the web tonight, we've got another big game for you at www.gpb.com/org/sports. It is Gainesville at Flowery Branch. That one also for a region championship. So we got two great games, one on GPB, one on GPB.org/sports. We welcome in John Nelson, and this weekend the GHSA playoff brackets are going to be decided one way or another. There's 192 teams going to qualify in 7 different divisions, and John Nelson, we're going to take a look at one. 6A for the first time this year. There is a 6A. Grayson won the 5A last year. What about the Rams' chances to win the first 6A title ever in the state of Georgia?
Yes, Virginia, there is a 6A champ this year. Grayson, we've seen in the last 2 years at the Corky Cow Classic, and they've been a force to be reckoned with. They were nationally #1 coming into the season, but a loss to one of the teams here. Parkview knocked them off and just got them mad. We caught up with #1 recruit in the country, Robert Kimdichi, to find out what it's going to take to get to Game 15.
It's things you do inside football and outside football. You know, it's not the only thing you do inside football. You know, you got to do a lot of different things. You got attitude, discipline, you know, accountability too. You know, it's just different things like that. So, you know, you just can't come raw out there and think you can do whatever and win a state championship. You know, so there's only one state championship winner.
All right, 26 region champs have already been decided. 22 are going to be decided either tonight or tomorrow night. What are a couple we should be looking at?
Well, I'll give you 2 real quick. Let's start in the region of Doom in 6A. #1 seed, Camden County right now. They're 1, Lowndes is 2. Big game tonight to decide 3 and 4. You've got 3 teams going for 2 slots, Colquitt, Coffee, and Valdosta. The other one, in 5A, Northside Warner Robins, one of the toughest front 7s regardless of classification. So those are 2 I've got on my radar, Camden and Northside.
All right, we'll see you back here with the Johns Georgia in just a couple of minutes.
You got it.
And remember, all the bracketology, go to our website and we'll have that for you just as soon as it becomes official. Let's now check back in with Jen Hobby. Jen?
All right, thanks, Mark. Now, keeping your diet in line can be a tough assignment, but with South Gwinnett's ROTC, we can take back control because this week's Ultimate Lunchbox Makeover has turned into an Ultimate Boot Camp.
Arms, face, left leg.
Responsibility and self-discipline are clearly part of the mission here, but they're also important traits of a healthy diet. I'm here with South Gwinnett's ROTC, and your team looked really good out there, guys. Hopefully, you'll be able to endure my boot camp in just a little bit. But first, I want to know, do any of you make your own lunch for school?
Never.
Never?
Some days.
Some days?
Sometimes.
No, not really.
Never. And so what kind of things do you eat for lunch?
I go over to the vending machine, so.
A vending machine lunch.
I had a salad.
I had a chicken sandwich. Chicken sandwich, pizza. What'd you have? Pizza.
I actually didn't eat lunch today.
No lunch at all? One way to make sure that you're getting all the nutrients you need in your lunch is to make it yourself. And that is exactly what you guys are going to be doing today. Are you ready?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
It is now time for the Ultimate Lunchbox Boot Camp, and we've got our two teams ready to go. We've got the Quad Squad. We've also got on this side the 4 Amigos.
Amigos!
Your challenge is to put together the best and the healthiest complete lunchbox meal. Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, we gotta get the grease on.
Grease on?
Yeah.
A little bit. You're trying to stay healthy.
Get just a little ham. Let's get some dairy in there.
Strawberry bananas my favorite. Yeah. What kind of bread did you use?
Yeah. Squad.
Good job, guys.
Quad Squad, give me the rundown on your lunch.
We use turkey, lettuce, tomato, onions, and pickles.
Tell me about the little dessert cake over here.
It looks so delicious just sitting over there, and I didn't want to leave it out.
Well, it might brighten your day, but a lot of the sugars that aren't natural sugars are going to give you a quick spike and then drop you down so that you're sleeping in the middle of class. And what about the side item over there?
Well, we got some strawberry banana yogurt, my favorite flavor, and it's always good to throw a little dairy in there to keep the strong bones.
Mm-hmm. 4 Amigos, give me the rundown on your lunch.
Okay, on our sandwich we use wheat bread, a tomato, lettuce, and ham, and turkey, carrots, and string cheese.
And also we have fruits, as you can see, a fruit cup.
Everybody did a really great job. But you know, in all competition, there must be a winner.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to deem the 4 Amigos as the winner. This is the new food pyramid. So when I was your age, we had a pyramid and it was kind of confusing, but now it's called My Plate, and it's an easy way to remember what you need to get in every single meal. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Easy enough, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you guys think that you could make your own lunch now?
Yes,
After today, definitely. This is a little more easier to remember.
So this will help.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, teams, so what is our lunchbox strategy?
If a healthy lunch has you concerned,
A healthy lunch has you concerned.
make your lunch, that's what we learned.
Make your lunch, that's what we learned.
What a great group that South Gwinnett ROTC is. Such a great bunch of kids. All right, Mark, we've got the cheerleader challenge just moments away. Head it back over to you.
Hey, thanks so much, Jen. One of our missions here at GPB is to raise awareness of the Georgia dropout rate. We'd like to remind all our viewers and all the students watching tonight the importance of staying in school and getting that diploma. In that end, GPB started a campaign called Stop the Drop to help improve graduation rates across the state of Georgia. This year, we're doing something new, and we're asking Georgia students to help. It's the Stop the Drop video contest. We'll be going all football season long. We are inviting high school students from across the state to create a 30-second video PSA, which will address the issue of why students drop out of their schools and provide a possible solution. Full details about how to enter are available at gpb.org/stopthedrop. Viewers will be encouraged to vote for their favorite video at the championship games in the Georgia Dome in December. The video with the most views will be featured on our broadcast, and there are many, many gifts, including an iPad. So you want to take part in that. It's very important. Stay in school. Jen?
Thanks, Mark. This is my favorite part of the night. It is now time for the South Gwinnett Cheerleader Challenge. And before we get underway, I want to introduce you to some of these awesome ladies on the cheerleading squad. First, we have our junior who's here tonight, Ashlyn Mailer. Hi, Ashlyn. Hi. Are you excited about tonight's game? Very excited. All right, and we also have our senior over here, Jessica Friend. Hi, Jessica. Hi. All right, so we're going to talk to Ashlyn here. Now, this is a juniors versus seniors competition, but you're all on the same squad. How do you guys prepare for a big game like tonight?
Well, today, during our lunches, we had a pep rally, and the band came out and played, and the cheerleaders cheered all lunch long, and we just hype up the crowd.
That's awesome. Get that school spirit underway. All right, and Jessica, tell me, it's senior night. It's your last home game. How are you feeling about tonight's game?
I'm kind of nervous and scared. I just really hope we win. We have a good group of boys, a really good band, and a great student section, and I'm just ready to get started.
Are you a little bit nostalgic about your last 4 years, this being the wrap-up?
Yeah, it's really sad. It's kind of bittersweet, but I'm ready.
Okay, we'll cheer hard tonight. All right, we are going to get our hula hoop challenge underway between our juniors and seniors here, and here are the rules for you. All right, ladies, here we go. The rules are players may not use hands or feet to keep the hula hoop up. As soon as the hula hoop touches the ground, that player is out. And the last team with a player still hula hooping, or whoever has the most players hula hooping at the end of 1 minute, wins. Okay, ready, ladies? You got it? Okay, on my whistle. Ready? On your mark. Get set. Hula! All right, looks like the seniors are going strong. We got one senior down, two seniors down. All three juniors are still going. All right, we got one senior still going. 50 seconds. We got one junior down, two juniors still going. One senior looks like she is going strong. Who is going to take it home tonight? We still got 40 seconds to go. Oh my gosh. This one is going fast and strong. That's her strategy. Over here, they're set slow and steady. We got 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left. She's looking focused over here. All right, ladies, I want everybody's hands in the air. Hands up, ladies. Hands up. We got 15 seconds left. 15 seconds. All right, juniors are still in the lead here. We got one senior going. 5 seconds left. All right, time. Juniors, you're the winners. Oh, man, even on senior night, the juniors are the winners. Congratulations, lady. You showed them up on senior night. How'd you keep the hula hoop up?
Slow and steady wins the race.
Great job. We've got some awesome GPB t-shirts for you guys. Football Fridays in Georgia. Thanks for participating. Now, take it easy on those seniors tonight, okay? Give them the respect they deserve, right? All right, coming up on GPB, John Nelson and John's Georgia is going to tell you about some South Georgia teams headed into the championship. Plus, we are going to take a look at an unsung hero. That's all coming up on Football Fridays in Georgia. All Access Pass right here on GPB. Great job, girls. I'm so impressed.
The national anthem has just been played as we're just moments away from kicking off this game for the Region 8 championship between Parkview and South Gwinnett. Should be a dandy. Welcome back to Football Fridays in Georgia here on the great GPB. Each Friday we highlight a student from the home school that goes the extra mile, that helps make the high school experience a good one for all the students and his fellow classmates. Tonight we meet Reggie Carter, tonight's unsung hero from Southwest Gwinnett High School.
South Gwinnett linebacker Reggie Carter is on the comeback trail. Last year, as a junior, he injured his knee in the very first game of the season on just the 15th play. He missed the rest of the year. Reggie had to undergo knee surgery, endure rehab, and manage the pain of watching his teammates play the game while he stood on the sidelines.
Seeing a kid of his caliber, seeing that possibly his dreams could go down the drain is disappointing and very discouraging. But he handled it better than most people would.
I missed it. It was a boring season last year, watching it from the sideline. By the time I got back out there, it was just a passionate game.
But Reggie persevered. He rehabbed the knee and has come back stronger than ever. He is the leading tackler, and he's a team leader on the field and in the classroom.
He's a 3.6 GPA. He handles his business in the classroom. He's a very humble kid. He's a great leader in the school, a great leader in the field house, on the practice field, during games. Just has all the intangibles that you look for in a leader.
Reggie credits his mom for his strong study habits.
My mom don't play that. She really don't. She keep me straight. She put it in my head ever since I was young, so by the time I got through like the 3rd grade, I knew it was a job for me to make good grades, and football was a privilege, and it always can be taken away at any given time, and I found that out last year.
Before his injury, dozens of colleges were interested in offering a scholarship. Afterwards, not so much. But one school hung with him. The Georgia Bulldogs believed in Reggie, and Reggie will enter school in Athens next semester. And after that, a dream of playing in the pros.
Ever since I was young, I had a dream to go to the NFL. And I know the percentages are low, so get my degree and wherever God leads me.
Reggie Carter, a true student athlete and a really good guy. He'll be a good player there for Mark Richt in Athens at the University of Georgia. We now welcome in the author of 4 books, 2 on high school football in the great state of Georgia, John Nelson, a segment we call John's Georgia, brought to you by
Georgia's EMC.
All right, topic number 1, the region of doom down south.
I was waiting for your voice, the region of doom. Let's talk about Region 1-6A, and it is going to be interesting to see what happens with 3 teams and 2 slots. Take you how we got this way. Let's go to Douglas and Jardine Stadium. What happened last week with Coffee and Colquitt. Cole Seagraves went 11-17 for 220 yards and 2 scores. Bobby Hill caught 10 for 143. It was a 27-9 final, but Mark, Colquitt is in with a win tonight over Camden. They're also in with a loss on a Coffee win, but Mark, if it gets to a 3-way tie, their tiebreaker comes to points in region games. So we'll see what happens tonight. 3 teams and 2 slots in Region 1-6A. That's topic number 1. What is topic number 2?
Well, we are here in Snellville, Georgia, and a Brookwood alum also in Snellville that everybody is proud of.
And the first story was brought to us by our friends at Satilla EMC. This one, with Veterans Day coming up, we just wanted to welcome home Justin Lansford. We go to Brookwood Community Stadium in Snellville last week for the South Gwinnett Brookwood game, and there he is, an Army infantryman class of 2007. He lost his left leg in a roadside bomb in April back in Afghanistan. He's recently been promoted to sergeant. He's still recovering and rehabbing, got a key to the city. He's going to be rehabbing at Walter Reed Hospital. Snellville Mayor Kelly Couts gave him the key to the city, only the 2nd person to do so, and it's just cool to have him back home, and it was a great reception. Some of the coaches, Mark, even asked him if he had any eligibility left. That's topic number 2. What's topic number 3?
Topic number 3, single A coaches. They know each other and know each other very well as you head into the playoffs in a couple of weeks.
And we talked about that 22 regions are in play tonight. One of them, it has to do with Landmark and Eagles Landing Christian. This is with the help from our friends in Snapping Shoals in Central Georgia. EMC's with Landmark and ELC going at it tonight. We caught up with head coach Jonathan Guess of ELC to find out about his opponent tonight.
They're going to be doing similar type stuff on offense. I'm just curious to look at that defense and see if it still has the Kenny Dallas intensity to it. And but, you know, bottom line is they have hard-nosed kids. It's a great school, and obviously they have great administration, great parents, which means they're going to be good at what they do.
So that's going to be a good matchup to follow tonight. We'll have, this is like our election coverage tonight with all these teams getting into the playoffs, so it's going to be really interesting to see who makes it into the 2nd season.
Hey, I can't let John's Georgia go tonight, folks, unless I ask them the number 1 question that inquiring minds want to know.
Inquire
the number
away.
1 player in the entire country, Ryder Candice of Grayson, where's he going? Clemson? Ole Miss, somewhere else.
Alabama's also in the mix now too. With the decommit that happened, you knew that the writing was kind of on the wall that when he actually committed to Clemson in the first place, that the recruiting of Robert Kimdichie really was just starting. And you saw how his mom was reacting to Clemson in the print. So I think right now it's Alabama, Georgia, and Ole Miss, and it's going to be a sprint to the finish with them.
You know, I knew for inquiring minds that John would have an answer for it.
That was an answer.
All right, it is a great night for a high school football game here in Snellville. A hot time in Snellville, possibilities all the way around, and it's senior night, which makes it extra special, I think.
It does, and we've got our big Gwinnett rivalry, and it is about time. We are now counting down to kickoff.
Yep, it's for a region championship tonight. It's the Parkview Panthers. It's the Comets of South Gwinnett. It is game time on Football Fridays in Georgia, live on GPB.
On this fall night in November, the month of Thanksgiving, the people of Snellville can offer thanks to a brash Englishman for their name. In 1874, with dreams in his eyes, Thomas Snell left Old London for New Georgia and wound up in an area just outside of Stone Mountain. There, he opened up a dry goods store with 2 friends, and he called this new place Snellville. Today, despite the recession, new homes keep sprouting up as the town continues to grow. Also on the ascent are the Comets of South Gwinnett High. Under the 8-year tenure of Coach John Small, there is nothing small about the team's rebound after last year's lackluster performance. This year, quarterback Jordan Ramey and his wide receivers have hopes of making it into the playoffs and beyond. Meanwhile, from Lilburn, a city that rose like the phoenix after a 1920 fire that wiped it off the map, the Parkview Panthers have helped put it back on the map. Under the 20-year reign of head coach Cecil Flo, the team has claimed 4 state titles and ran up a then unprecedented 46-game winning streak. But of late in the Big Orange jungle, the hunter has become the hunted. Is this the year the Panthers get their groove back and make it all the way to where they once belonged? Tonight, the Comets of South Gwinnett are on a collision course with the Parkview Panthers, where the stars are in alignment on GPB's Football Fridays in Georgia.
Time to play some football.
That's a championship team right there.
It's a hot time tonight.
We're looking live at Richard Snell Community Stadium here in Snellville, senior night on the campus of South Gwinnett High School, where tonight the Region 8 title regular season is on the line between Parkview and the host South Gwinnett Comets. We welcome you in to GPB's Live, an exclusive coverage of Football Fridays here in Georgia. Gil Tyree along with the birthday boy Trey McDaniel on seniors night in Snellville. And Trey, we got a great regular season finale here with 2 great football teams at stake, a region title.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Gil. Region on the line. South Gwinnett needs a little help across town. Brookwood beating Grayson, but if Parkview wins tonight, they win the region outright. It's been a while since they've done so. They've got a heck of a team, and on offense for them tonight, it's going to start with their junior tailback, Justice Rosser. Why? Because Chris Carson, their 1,100-yard running back, is out with a broken leg for the season. No matter how deep they go in the playoffs, they won't have him back. Rosser will line up primarily in the Wildcat tonight. That's been their wild card all season, has been the Wildcat. As Rosser goes, so goes the Parkview offense. On defense for Parkview, their best player is probably their senior linebacker, Kyle Williams. Williams leads the team in tackles. Coach Flo calls him their silent leader. He's going to have to step up in a major way tonight because South Gwinnett's offense is averaging 35 points per game, and they are dynamic.
On the other side, the host South Gwinnett Comets. I'll tell you what, big win against Trey's alma mater last week against Brookwood. I'm not going to rub it in, but I'll tell you what, they smell a regular season title. It's been a long time since they had a lot of good things happening here.
Yeah, and it's the 3rd consecutive week that we get to see a phenomenal dual threat quarterback. Jordan Ramey is one of the best we've seen all year. He gets it done through the air and with his legs. 23 touchdowns altogether and over 2,300 total yards of offense. I mentioned before 35 points per game. And let's go back to that Brookwood game last week, Gil. 4 touchdowns through the air and 1 on the ground. He might be the best offensive player on the field tonight, bar none. On the defensive side, it's a pretty good one in his own right, and that's senior linebacker Reggie Carter, already going to the University of Georgia. He'll graduate here from South Gwinnett in December. He'll enroll and be with the Bulldogs in the spring. He leads his team in tackles. He's a phenomenal player. He's going to have to gear up tonight because Parkview, 82% of their offense is on the ground. Carter's going to be busy.
It shapes up to be a great battle here tonight. Now let's join the 3rd member of our crew here tonight. In addition to roaming the sidelines and dropping a little knowledge on us, he's going to be a scoreboard watcher extraordinaire. John Nelson, it's all yours.
Thank you, Gil. Good evening to you and to Trey. Let's take a look. Bottom line, 22 regions are in play tonight of the 48. This is one of them. Let's take a look at the region standings as they go. You see the 4 teams at the top of the ladder. 3 of them at 6-1, South Gwinnett at 5-2. Now, there's going to be a math test later because this is what could happen. You've got 4 different versions of the game up the street and the game right here. So you could have a team who is 4th right now, finish up number 1. You could have a bunch of things in between. We're going to keep an eye on that and all the other regions in play tonight. So this is our election coverage, guys. So definitely the way to go, the last game of the regular season. Back upstairs. Let's light this candle.
All right, John, thank you. I'll tell you this. I failed calculus, but I passed physics. So we got our work cut out. Trey, I'm going to leave it up to you. But before that, we're going to have you unlock our keys to success here tonight in Snellville.
First for Parkview, Gil, they've got a season momentum early. With Parkview's run-heavy offense, they'll have a hard time if they fall behind. They've also got to make South Gwinnett earn it. Parkview's giving up just 13 points per game on defense, but it might be the most explosive offense they've seen. They've really got to make the Comets earn every single yard they get. For South Gwinnett, Gil, they got to keep their foot on the gas. Last week, South Gwinnett jumped out to 21-7 lead over Brookwood and let it slip away before they came back to win. They've got to keep their foot on the gas this week, and they've got to live in the here and now. Coach John Small said that his team cannot be stressing out about their history against Parkview because it's all about this team and this season.
And John laid it out for you. So much at stake here tonight. A good crowd on hand, and of course everybody excited about what's going on here at South Gwinnett High School. Coach Small has really done an outstanding job in getting this program to believe again, Trey, and they're relevant right now at the most important time of the year. You see Coach Small, of course, came over from Oconee and has done a nice job, was on part of the T. McFerrin staff back in the early 2000s, and we're about ready to get underway here in Snellville tonight. Parkview winning the toss, and South Gwinnett will kick it off, and Kiana Mole will field it at his own 5. Jukes a move up the sidelines, and he is pushed out of bounds at about the 25-yard line, where Parkview will take over 1st and 10 right there. You see quarterback Mac Marshall, and of course he'll try to establish the run here tonight, Trey. 82% and out of 80 different formations. So, like you said, it's pretty much a quarterback by committee, but Mac Marshall will be the one who will be in the controls early on.
Yeah, he stepped in when Youngblood went down, who's starting at free safety. Rob Youngblood went down with a broken collarbone versus Grayson. He has stepped in. You'll also see Justice Rosser out of the Wildcat a lot tonight as well.
An empty set for Parkview, 1st and 10 at the 25. The flare, and it falls incomplete. And defending on the play for South Gwinnett, but the intended receiver was Keon Mole. And let's take a look at the offense for Parkview, and of course manned by that 4-year starter in the middle, Blake Dunham, and also the outstanding offensive line for them. And then you see the wide receivers, Veal, you see Rosser, who's filling in for Carson, and Brandon Sullivan, you see Robinson, and a great crew for Cecil Flo here tonight. 2nd and 10 right now. We're early on. The spread look for the Parkview Panthers right now. Marshall dropping back and rolling right. Still on his feet, under heavy pressure, lofts it long. And the intended receiver out there was Veal, and it falls incomplete. We take a look. We have a flag on the play, and before we get that figured out, we'll talk about the South Gwinnett defensive units. And like I said before, our starting lineups were brought to you by Regions Bank. It's time to expect more, and you take a look at our officiating crew. Gordon Dickerson will head it up tonight. An outstanding crew from the Georgia High School Association, and a flag on the play. 11:39 in the opening period here in Snellville. Trey.
They're trying to get the infractions sorted out. Kind of surprised that Parkview went to the air on their first 2 plays of the game. They're only averaging 41 yards in the pass game per game.
That personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense. That's a 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
Gil, it was Weston Simmons providing the initial pressure, and then you see the late hit coming by number 94. That's defensive end junior Donovan Kelly, 6'1", 250 pounds. Really bringing the thunder on Mac Marshall as he rolled out to his right. And Gilly's got to know better than that. He had ample opportunity to pull up. He probably took 3 full steps before making contact with Marshall. First big mental mistake of this football game.
And that'll give Parkview an automatic 1st down at the 40. And you see trying to work out of the Wildcat, and again a false start. And we have flags on the play, and officials will explain.
It's going to be on fullback Brandon Sullivan, who was lined up as the tight end on the right side. And they're going to lose some of those yards they got.
As we told you. The starting lineups brought to you by Regions Bank. It's time to expect more. You take a look at the South Gwinnett defense, a 3-4 front, and you see the linebackers. And Marquise Parker, love him. Anthony Beck. And then the secondary
leading INT man in the county. Nick Hilton leads that group. 1st and 16 for Parkview. And the give straight ahead and getting over the 40 up to about the 45-yard line is DeMonte Dawson.
Bill, you see here in the early going what Coach Small talked to us about. It's not that Parkview does anything real complicated or versatile. They just run the same handful of plays out of a variety of formations. We've seen 3 wide, 4 wide, a tight formation, and an offsides, and then you've got single back, 2 wide receiver right here. And another flag.
And another flag. And stoppage of play. 2nd and 10 at the 40. And that was before the flag was dropped.
You may get a 12-man in the huddle call. So 3 penalties, Gil, and just a couple of minutes off the clock so far in this game. 53 seconds to be exact.
There's no flag on the play. Offense did have 11 players on their side of the ball.
So we'll do a do-over.
Good old-fashioned do-over.
2nd and 10 at the 40. Marshall. And you see Cecil Flo, the head coach, and more on him as this game continues to go on. That's Marshall keeping it. And on the quarterback keeper, getting close to the 40-yard line. Correct me, they were running on a Wildcat. That's Canna Mole. And he gets it to the 45-yard line, stopped at about the 44. There you get a look at Cecil Flo, and of course, Parkview Panther head coach, 20 seasons. Closing in on the 200 mark, Trey. 49 coaches in Georgia High School have 200 wins. And he'll join that club once he gets there.
Such a coaching-rich state and 4 state championships. We couldn't fit all of his accolades in that one graphic. He's quite an accomplished coach.
See their man in motion again. That's a Wildcat, and straight ahead and pushing it close to midfield. Number 42 for Parkview. That's Richard Walker. And Richard Walker was a game-time decision.
This was a 3rd down and 6 play, Gil, and they're going to mark him very, very close to the 1st down. We knew they were going to see a lot of Wildcat. We expected to see Justice Rosser run it, but so far in back-to-back plays, we've seen Mole run it and then Richard Walker run it. Richard Walker only 7 carries for 54 yards coming into this football game, and as you mentioned, Gil, a game-time decision. I believe they're going to have to measure that's awfully close.
Very, very close. You get a look at John Small, and we talked about him up top, you know, on the staff of T. McFerrin here, and has come over and really turned this program around. And that's how close it is, Trey.
So we'll get the first big decision of the football game. 4th down and about a football's length. Very, very close to midfield. They need to get to the 49.5-yard line for a 1st down. We'll see what Parkview does. Looks like they're going to bring the field goal team on, at least by the personnel change, it looks that way.
And the punting team coming on, and you got to look at Cecil Flo, and of course, like Trey said, they really running primarily out of the Wildcat. They'll run 82% of the time out of 80 different formations. And during practice all this week, Coach Flo was really on his offensive line and trying to get them to fire off at the point of attack. So that'll bring up a punting situation for the Parkview Panthers. Hunter Thornton at his own 35 will loft it high, end over end, and Bernard Morrison was there and let it drop, so it'll drop at about the 35. And the Comets of South Gwinnett will get their first opportunity here tonight to take a look at their outstanding quarterback, Jordan Ramey, 6'4", 180-pound senior. And just a kid that really has every gift imaginable, Trey. Great arm, great feet, great legs, and outstanding talent. And they run through him.
Great prototypical size from the quarterback position as well. Just watching him warm up this evening, Gil, very impressive. He just has that quarterback look about him.
And they'll go to the no huddle and stack to the near side of 3 wide. And they dump it over there, and with the football and stumbling and still on his feet with open field is Bernard Morrison. And he is pushed out of bounds over the 40-yard line and close to about the 42-yard line.
Gil, we're going to see a ton of this tonight. Great blocking there on the outside by a good wide receiver in his own right, L.J. Gainey. But Bernard Morrison is kind of their X factor, Gil. He's not only a very accomplished runner, but he's also a very accomplished pass catcher. He caught 2 touchdown passes against Brookwood last week. They're trying to get him involved early.
It's a first down at the 38. Ramey, the play fake, dumps it over on the right side. That's Tyrone Atchison. The split end. And we take a look at the offense for South Gwinnett. And, of course, brought to you by Regions Bank. It's time to expect more. You take a look at Pittman, Edwards, Matt Rouse, and Corey Tatum. Very impressive offensive line. Big baby, they call Dennis Edwards. And Matt Rouse is the toughest man that Coach Small says he has on his football team. And then you see the wideouts and the running backs, and just loaded back there for South Gwinnett. 2nd and 5 to pick up. See the man in motion. Ramey under pressure, jumps up in the pocket, and on his feet over midfield into Parkview territory, still on his feet and drugged down over the 30-yard line down to about the Parkview 28.
You can see what makes Jordan Ramey so dangerous. He waited to the last possible second because he is an accomplished passer. He's a pass-first quarterback, but he's got almost 400 yards on the season rushing and several touchdowns, and you see him with some great vision there. Kyle Williams, who provided some of the pressure, had to make the tackle 25 yards downfield.
Kimball Brinson also there as well, and moving straight ahead and moving forward was Josh Boyd. Take a look at the Parkview defense, and of course Son, Willis, and Hunter Thornton. And Kyle Williams, Trey talked about, one of their great players on this football team, the leading tackler and the leader on that defense. And Justice Rosser, who you saw, who goes both ways, both on offense and defense. I love Shaq Vereen in the secondary. Lineups brought to you by Regions Bank. It's time to expect more. 8:48 in the opening period. And we have again Yellow Hankies dropping.
And Gil, it's no secret what South Gwinnett wants to do, to spread Parkview out. And after every penalty, Gil, they're having to really have a conference to figure out exactly what was going on. It was a pre-snap.
And they'll bring it back.
Prior to the snap, false start, offensive line, we remain 2nd down.
Get a look at Coach Small again. And South Gwinnett using that no huddle so far early on to speed it up like a NASCAR offense, right, Trey?
Absolutely.
2nd and 12. They'll dump it out in the flat. And the pass is complete to L.J. Gainey. He gets over the 30 down to about the 28.
So, Gil, we've already seen them attempt to get Bernard Morrison in the game, L.J. Gainey, Josh Boyd, all their major playmakers, and also a nice run by Ramey on the play before the penalty. That was the best job Parkview's done all night of defending the perimeter and not allowing L.J. Gainey to get outside. A receiver who has 571 yards and 7 touchdowns already on the season. A ton of weapons for this Comet offense. Very difficult to defend if you're Parkview.
3rd and 10 at the 31. Out of the shotgun is Ramey. And looking. And the pass falls incomplete. The intended receiver out there was Gainey. He had Gainey about the 20-yard line, 25-yard line. Brinson among those defending on the play. And Rosser was in the neighborhood as well.
Now, Gil, this is very interesting because it's 4th down, and Coach Small told us that the weak spot of his team is field goal kicking. He said if we're inside of the opposing 40-yard line, it's 4-down territory so expect for them to go for this.
And it looks like you're exactly right. That's why they call you the mad scientist, because you always get it right. 4th and 10 at the 31. Ramey loading up, locked and loaded, and delivers, and it falls incomplete. Corey Keel, the intended receiver, and it falls incomplete, so Parkview will take over. You see Keel out there, and defending on the play was Bryce Lewis for Parkview.
Bryce
did
Lewis.
A nice job.
Absolutely did a fantastic job. I like how Ramey in the pocket, though, did try to look off the safety, and he was patient back there, but Bryce Lewis did a perfect job defending, and it's a turnover on downs. We'll remember that later in the game, that they weren't able to execute on that 4th down.
And again, the Panthers in that Wildcat with a 1st and 10. And Choate taking it straight ahead and spinning and still on his feet, but finally pulled down over the 40 to about the 41. On the direct snap was DeMonte Dawson.
Gil, check out this.
Close to a first down.
Check out this young man. He's kind of a Darren Sproles type guy. Gets lost back there behind those big offensive linemen. 5'3", 140 pounds, probably the smallest tailback we've seen all season, but it just paid dividends right there on a nice 10-yard first down carry on first down.
1st and 10 at the 41, 7:31 in the opening period here. Scoreless in Snellville. Parkview versus South Gwinnett, the Region 8. 6A title on the line. And holding the football and taking the football is Rosser. He gets close to the 45-yard line, about at the 41.
You'll watch left guard number 55 right there, Freddie Hart. Great job there by the Parkview offensive line. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to know why Parkview is better than they have been in recent years? They finally have more size on the offensive line, something that was really the cornerstone behind their 4 state championships between 1997 and 2002. They have a big offensive line now. That's why they're able to run the football.
Reggie Carter on the stop. The ball smack dab at the 45. And again, the direct snap. And the open field, and still being able to hold on to the football and taking it into South Gwinnett territory is Rosser again, close to about the South Gwinnett 44-yard line.
There's a great shot right there of the offensive line, guards pulling, kicking out the tackles, and then you've got your ex-receiver, number 15, Larry Veal, blocking downfield. Right now, the Parkview offense is clicking on all cylinders, and it's clicking in much the same way that it did in that big win against Grayson earlier in the season. Remember, Grayson was the #1 team in the country when Parkview knocked them off, and they did it in large part because of the Wildcat.
Again, they're working and moving. 1st and 10. At the South Gwinnett 45, Veal in motion. And the give straight ahead is to DeMonte Dawson. And you're right, those little scat backs, Trey. Gets behind that big offensive line and moving them.
So it looks like on this possession, Gil, they're featuring Dawson. This is the first snap of this possession, though, that they bring Mac Marshall back in, who's their starting quarterback, officially listed as their starting quarterback, and he's going to remain in for this play as well. It's 2nd down and long. Parkview's not the type of team, Gil, that wants to get in the 3rd and long situation. Ideally here, they'd like to pick up 6 or 7 yards, if not a first down on this play. 3rd and long is not the right down and distance.
Eckers and Parker on the stop. 2nd and 9. Dawson in motion, the direct snap and drop for a loss.
Gil, what they did there is they brought Marshall in as a decoy and lined him up as the wide receiver on the far left. Then they brought motion across to that side and then tried to run against the grain. But it was a great tackle made by DeConte Davis, 6 foot, 195-pound senior, number 17. He was in the right spot, didn't get sucked in by the motion, and probably made the best play on defense that South Gwinnett has had so far this evening. And it puts Parkview in exactly the situation they do not want to be in. 3rd down and very long.
Very long, exactly. 13 yards to be exact. The ball spotted at the 47 of South Gwinnett. Scoreless here, and the clock continues to tick down. And rolling out is Marshall. And he is dumped at approximately midfield. And it looked like Weston Simmons and also Reggie Carter in there to make this stop.
Boy, Gil, you can see what the University of Georgia loves about number 49, Reggie Carter. Watch him come out of nowhere. He's the linebacker on the far side. He's patient because he's trying to make sure he has contained in case Mac Marshall tries to come back the other way. He sees an opening. Marshall gets walled off and brought back to the inside. And we got our first sack of the game. South Gwinnett's defense really stood up right there once Parkview crossed midfield.
Morrison back to receive the punt. 4th and long. And it's going to take a South Gwinnett bounce and land approximately about the 31-yard line, where the Comets will take over 1st and 10 right there, Trey.
That was a 16-yard punt, Gil. Not exactly what you want, because ideally Parkview wants to play kind of that grind it out, field position type game. You do not want to give South Gwinnett's offense any advantage. They don't really need any help. You certainly don't want to give them any.
All right, Ramey with the no huddle will bring him up to the line of scrimmage, 1st and 10 at the 31. Let's take a break with the score. It's scoreless, 0-0, South Gwinnett and Parkview. You're watching GPB's live and exclusive coverage of Football Fridays in Georgia.
As leaders in our communities, Georgia's locally owned and operated electric membership corporations are proud to sponsor GPB Sports and the Georgia High School Association. Georgia's electric cooperatives are committed to providing safe, affordable, and reliable electricity to our members. We are dedicated to building strong communities by helping Georgia's student athletes become the leaders of tomorrow. Georgia's electric membership corporations, lighting the way.
Back here in Snellville, we're scoreless between Parkview and South Gwinnett. Downstairs to John Nelson. Nelly.
Thank you, Gil. There are 48 regions going on tonight. We have 22 in play. Let's take a look at one of the regions where the bottom of the ladder is where people are looking. Camden and Lowndes in Region 1-6A. They're the 1 and the 2, but you've got 3 teams going after 2 slots. It's Colquitt, Coffee, and Valdosta. Colquitt, if they beat Camden tonight, they're in. If they lose and Coffee wins, then it creates a 3-way tie, and the tiebreakers depend on from region to region. In Region 1-6A, guys, it's a math problem. Points allowed in region games, and right now it would mean that Colquitt would be the 3 and Coffee would be the 4. So you really don't want to give up a lot of points tonight, especially if you're heading for tiebreakers instead of mini games.
All right, Nelly, the professor, thank you. It's a you problem because you got to figure it out, right?
Is there smoke coming out of my ears yet?
The Comets trying to establish the run, and that's Boyd straight ahead. He's close to the 35-yard line.
These tiebreakers, Gil, are all over the map. John was right. They're different in every single region. There are certain regions that if it ends up tied are going to play mini football games, 10-minute long football games with 2 5-minute halves to determine it. In years past, you've had coin flips. There's all kind of things. I didn't bring my abacus tonight, nor did I bring my scientific calculator. I'm going to let Nelly figure all this out.
2nd and 6 at the 35. Low snap. Ramey able to retrieve it. Has plenty of time and scrambles for his life and under heavy pressure and is pushed out of bounds at about at the 32-yard line. John Patterson was over there among those making the stop, pushing Ramey out of bounds. Take a look at it. What do we see here, Trey?
Well, this is what you call a coverage sack. Good patience. I said earlier on the last possession that he is a pass-first quarterback. He always keeps his eyes downfield. You don't throw for almost 2,000 yards in a season and double-digit touchdowns by being a run-first guy. Parkview did a great job back there in coverage. Keep in mind, they're splitting 4, sometimes 5 guys out wide. Not many high school football teams, Gil, have 5 or 6 defensive backs that can play coverage against guys like L.J. Gainey and Tyrone Atchison and Bernard Morrison. So the fact that they forced the coverage sack right there is a big win for their defense. Now, Parkview's defense, Gil, only giving up 13 points per game on average, but this is probably the most high-power offense they have played this season.
This Sunday at 7 o'clock, another new episode of Georgia Traveler. David Zulski and crew meet the pizza maestro of Atlanta, hop over to the Sweetwater Brewing Company to see what's on tap. Then they travel to Blairsville to see the most unusual model railroad in the world. All that and more. Catch the new episode this Sunday, 7 o'clock. David Zulski and the crew, the Traveler team, is looking forward to it. David Zulski, everywhere he goes, he has a whole lot of fun. Just everywhere he goes in Georgia, they start laughing, and they enjoy it.
I'm telling you, I'm going to stow away in his car.
You got a nice ride, dude. Got a nice ride. It is really equipped. And it is one of those type of automobiles that you read about and see about and you want to ride in. That's picked off. Ramey threw in the coverage and going straight ahead with the football for Parkview and getting dumped at about the 10-yard line, I should say, is Shaq Vereen. So it will be Parkview first and goal at about the South Gwinnett 5.
I don't know if you see it in your picture, but number 6, Shaq Vereen, he's playing center field, Gil. His job is to not let anything get by him. He's got one task, and that's to read Ramey's eyes. He did a great job of doing so, and this ball comes right to him. Not a great pass, an underthrown pass by Ramey right into his hands, and it was smooth sailing up the sideline. For a second there, it looked like he might score.
Right.
It was a great tackle there made by Ramey to save a touchdown, but Parkview set up now in fantastic field position, first down at the 12.
And you see who's looking at Vereen. A lot of interest. A 42-yard INT return, first and goal for the Parkview Panthers at the South Gwinnett 13. 2:53 in the opening period. Big turnover. Let's see what Parkview can do with it. And on his feet and still with the football, that's Joshua Rosser. He gets over the 10. Down to about the 5.
Gil Rosser's the guy that we spotlighted in our open tonight. We expect him to carry the bulk of the load, especially in these areas where you're getting close to the goal line. Is the tough, hard-fought yardage where maybe a 5'3" DeMonte Dawson isn't really the answer. With Michael Carson going out, the tough yards are going to have to be picked up by Rosser, and by my calculations, that was his first carry of the game.
Second and goal. 2:17 to go in the opening quarter. Parkview trying to cash in on that INT by Vereen out of the Wildcat, and is dumped. Was the great play by Colton Nash.
You got a heavy formation to the left, 2 tight ends, and then you got 2 kind of, I don't know what you want to call them, halfbacks lined up to the left. The idea is to kick out Colton Nash and cut inside of him. But instead, the quarterback decides to go outside, which is the wrong move, and Nash just eats him up.
Keanu Mole was running out of the Wildcat. Like Trey said, they run out of just about every formation. 80 different formations we're going to see here tonight as Parkview and Cecil Flo try to establish the run. That'll make it 3rd and goal. Marshall back in. The southpaw winds up and looks long in the end zone and has a stretched out receiver. It was Veal, and it falls incomplete.
That's a golden opportunity missed there by Parkview. South Gwinnett was reading run the entire time. You see an unconventional kind of backpedaling drop, and not a bad pass as far as the aesthetics of it, but not an accurate pass at all. Veal had his man beat. He was running a crossing route. He came from the far left side. He was wide open. There was no safety on that side to help him out, and it was just a bad throw. And now Parkview will attempt to get points and be the first to get on the scoreboard with a field goal.
Tyler Stevenson, who's had an up and down year. He made a 50-yarder, but he missed a 20. And he'll attempt this to put the Panthers on the board. The snap and the kick is up. And it is no good. So it continues to be an up and down year for one Tyler Stevenson. Coach Flo said it, Trey.
Hot and cold.
And our conference call has been hot and cold. And you're going to see the missed field goal right here.
And from up here, Gil, it looked like he made it. He just missed that. And so now we got another scoreless affair. And with the missed field goal, Gil, at the high school level, you miss a field goal, the ball comes out to the 20-yard line like a touchback. That's why you see a lot of high school teams attempt long field goals, because for them it's just the same as a punt. No harm in giving it a shot. That one, though, a very makeable 27-yarder.
You see Cecil Flo consoling Stevenson on the sidelines and talking to him. 1st and 10 for the Comets of South Gwinnett. And that's Josh Boyd. He's stacked up and gains possibly 1. It'll bring up about a 2nd and 9. Cecil Flo very animated in practice and animated on that sideline tonight, and not very happy at all.
Well, Gilly knows he might have limited scoring opportunities, and after the big Vereen interception, it was a golden opportunity to put points on the board, and they let it slip away.
Ramey. And he finds his receiver there, and that's L.J. Gainey. It's complete. over the 25-yard line up to about the 26. Sam Willis on the tackle for Parkview, 5'6", 180-pound senior.
This will likely be, if they get it off, the last play of the first quarter. And one thing to note about this first quarter, Gil, as we move forward, Parkview's defense has spent an awful lot of time on the football field, and it is very unrelenting, this no-huddle offense for Parkview. For South Gwinnett, look for Parkview's defense to get worn down if this continues.
That's a great point, Trey. So that's the end of the first quarter with the score 0-0. We got Goose Eggs in Snellville. You're watching GPB's exclusive coverage of Football Fridays in Georgia. We are scoreless here in Snellville as we move into the second quarter. Parkview and South Gwinnett. We welcome you to our coverage of Football Fridays here on GPB tonight. Downstairs to Raven Tirado. Good evening, Raven.
Good evening, Gil and Trey. You're doing a great job up there. I'm going to be featuring the Super 8 games of the night. It's the games we think you should be watching throughout the Parkview South Gwinnett game. And let me tell you, special teams aren't a problem in this game only. It's all throughout the state of Georgia. I'll start with Allatoona East Paulding. Allatoona missed a field goal early in the first, and then East Paulding responded with a touchdown, then another touchdown, but then missed the extra point. We'll go on to Camden and Colquitt County. Colquitt missed a field goal, and then Camden responded with a touchdown, but then missed the extra point. And then I'll give you our web feature game of the week where there's no special team problems so far. Gainesville 14, Flowery Branch 7, and back up to you guys.
Raven, thank you. Any surprises on that list?
Not so far, Gil, and there's going to be a lot of four-quarter affairs. It's going to be long into the night before we find out exactly how things shake out, and we may not even find out then because of some of these tiebreak rules that John was just talking about.
A lot like our election Tuesday night.
We're still waiting on Florida to tell us what they decided, aren't we?
Exactly. Exactly.
Gil, that was a big third down play for South Gwinnett, and they opted to run it straight up the middle, and they're going to be shy again, and they're going to have to punt. Gil, this type of football game, this grinded out field position game, it favors Parkview. It would really have favored them because right now they have the turnover lead with that big interception, but they were unable to capitalize on points. But right now I'm impressed with what their defense has been able to do against this South Gwinnett offense.
Devontae Spivey will punt at his own 15. Line drive punt, and taking it on the bounce, but kneeling right there will be Ramey. Correct me, not Ramey, I'm sorry. The quarterback, Mac Marshall, for Parkview.
Look at this impressive resume, Gil, and everybody that lives in this area, Gwinnett County, Metro Atlanta area, even the state for that matter, knows about Parkview. 4 state championships, including 3 in a row. Racked up a 47-game win streak between 2000 and 2002. Record since 2006, 136-19. That is fantastic. Coach Flo, the author of all that. Parkview, Gil, did not make the playoffs for the first time until 1994. Since then, they've been a powerhouse in the state of Georgia.
You see Marshall in motion, and the direct snap, and straight ahead, it looks like that was Rosser. And he gets over the 35-yard line up to about the 38-yard line, and among those on the stop was Donovan Kelly. And Anthony Beck also in on the stop. No gain, bringing up 2nd and 10 at the 38. 10:40 in the second quarter. Scoreless here in Snellville. Parkview and South Gwinnett.
This is the formation they started the game in, Gil. No backs, quarterback in a shotgun.
An empty set. Marshall rolling to the right side and finds a receiver there into South Gwinnett territory, but he's pushed back. And the pass is complete to Keanu Mole, and that's a first down, Parkview.
Very impressive here for Mac Marshall. We mentioned only 41 yards per game through the air for Parkview. Watch him throw across his body and find Keanu Mole, and Mole did what every wide receiver is supposed to do. You're downfield, you see your quarterback under pressure, you uncover. He slides just slightly to his right to open himself up. Mac Marshall recognizes it. Nice play in the passing game for Parkview. You don't see many of those, but Gil, they came out throwing the ball early, and they just threw it right there for a big first down. Marshall stays on the field, Gil, but he's lined up far left at wide receiver.
First down and 10 at midfield, and turning the corner with the football, but getting dumped and losing a couple yards for the Parkview Panthers was Keanu Knoll, and on the stop was Devontae Spivey for South Gwinnett.
Spivey does a great job coming up from outside linebacker. We talk about it every week, Gil. He sets the edge and forces Mole inside, but not only does he set the edge and contain, he's actually able to get low on Mole and tackle him for no gain right at midfield.
2nd and 10. Right smack dab at midfield. Marshall has a receiver in the flat, and he gets nailed. Almost was beheaded. The pass was intended for Dawson, and let's take a look at this. Let's listen in.
Gil, you could see this coming from a mile away.
My goodness.
You see the coach coming over there and checking on him. Gil, a lot of fans on the opposite side of the field from where we are. Parkview fans, they wanted a flag there. I believe that was a good no call by the officials, because remember, DeMonte Dawson is only 5'3". DeConte Davis is a 6-foot-tall linebacker. He can get as low as he wants, and he is going to look like he's making helmet-to-helmet contact there. There was a great no call.
3rd and 10 at midfield. That's Marshall with room on the right side. Still with the football, and almost got leveled by Davis again, but gets over the 40 down to about the South Gwinnett 39, and that's a first down for Parkview.
Well, I'm looking at where they're spotting the ball here, Gil. Looks like the 41.5-yard line. He's going to be just shy. Watch him lunge for it, but he knows the headhunter's coming, Gil. You talked about it. Senior DeConte Davis, who just almost beheaded DeMonte Dawson, was coming for him, and he lunged for the first down, and he comes up a little bit short, and Parkview is going to opt to play this field position game like we mentioned before, Gil, and they're going to punt it here.
And back to receive for the South Gwinnett Comets is Morrison, who will stand at his own 10. Bad snap, and all punt almost got blocked, but they were able to get it off. And that's going to take a South Gwinnett bounce and get inside the 5 down to about the 2. And South Gwinnett almost got a block on special teams. Parkview got lucky. John Nelson, hello.
Hello, Gil. Trey, you wanted math problems? We'll go one step further. You talked about play-in games. We'll give you a region in 6A that actually could have play-in games. It's Region 5, and the action's going to have to be between teams 3, 4, and 5 for that to go down. It's going to have to be some upsets in there for that to happen. With Woodstock winning, Etowah would have to beat Lassiter, which would be a tall order for them right now. But that was one of the examples you're talking about for play-in games. Most of them are in AA back upstairs.
Ramey starts deep in his territory and will hand off and give it to Josh Boyd. And possibly got one, but maybe one if he was lucky.
You may see South Gwinnett be very, very conservative right here down near their own end zone. We already have an early interception by Parkview. South Gwinnett was lucky to not have Parkview put points on the board there, and we see their first play is a straight-ahead run by Boyd. I wouldn't be surprised to see that if maybe not a little bit of read option here.
2nd and 10 at the 2. Ramey in the end zone. Loss of Long, and has a receiver out there and just overthrew him just a tad, and that's Corey Keel. He had Corey Keel at the 30-yard line. And among those defending on the play was Keanu Mole.
Gil, I know he didn't complete the pass, but you want to talk about having the look and feel of a quarterback. Watch the pocket presence here, and he keeps his eyes downfield. A lot of quarterbacks would panic right there, throwing from their own end zone, being very cognizant of a potential safety. He airs it out and lets her rip. I love his pocket awareness, although he didn't complete that pass.
Rice Lewis also in the neighborhood. That'll make it 3rd and 10, deep at the 2. Ramey still on his feet, under pressure, and just got it off out of bounds at about the 10, but he was scrambling for his life, and the Parkview defense was dead on it. Kyle Williams was there. Who else was in the neighborhood, Trey?
Well, Kyle Williams, watch the cat and mouse game. There's Kyle Williams, left, then right, then left. Then he goes ahead and hits him. Ramey gets rid of it at the very last second. He's got Boyd out there as an escape valve, luckily, because he was still considered in the pocket. That could have been intentional grounding. Very heads-up play by Ramey just to get rid of that one.
Sam Willis also in the neighborhood. And just getting it off is Spivey. And fair catching it right at the 35-yard line is Marshall. So that's where Parkview will take over with a short field. Did you know that GPB has a Facebook page? Check us out and like us and be part of the GPB sports family. See behind-the-scenes pictures and get a whole lot of info about football games around the state. Like us, and you will be in the know about all things in high school sports. Follow us on Facebook. 1st and 10 for Parkview, and this is a Parkview type of ball game, folks. 1st and 10 at the South Gwinnett 35. And again, we have yellow hankies dropping. That's another different formation that we've seen here tonight.
Defense encroachment. That way, David. Prior to the snap, encroachment by the defense remains first down.
Gil, when Larry Veal came out of his tight end position to go in motion, outside linebacker number 17, DeConte Davis jumped into the neutral zone. Parkview already had phenomenal field position after punting them down deep, almost having the punt blocked. It really worked out into their favor because their defense stepped up, and now 1st down and 5. Right. You said it, Gil, just a few seconds ago. This is a Parkview type of feel to this football game so far.
Parkview working 1st and 5 at the South Gwinnett 31. The direct snap, and Russell jumps outside, continues. And they have a tough time to bring him down, but they finally bring him down at about the 32. And he had nowhere to go. Among those over there was Weston Simmons.
Watch Simmons miss here, Gil, and what you don't see outside the picture is he gets back up and comes back and makes the tackle. There he is, getting an assist on the tackle. Great job sticking with it by the senior, Weston Simmons, number 90, 6'3", 220 pounds, kind of a stat stuffer type guy, Gil. 57 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, leads the team. Really one of the stalwarts on the defensive line for South Gwinnett.
Sam Becker, Reggie Carter over there as well. 2nd and 5 at the 31, no gain. And Marshall lost one in the neighborhood on the intended receiver over there, and it falls incomplete. They had DeMonte Dawson at about the South Gwinnett 27-yard line, and the ball just went incomplete.
Gil, one thing that made Parkview so dangerous in their heyday back in the early 2000s was their ability to run the screen game. Right. They were maybe the best screen team at the high school level I've ever seen. They tried to set up a screen right there to one of their speedy running backs, but it was blown up by Marquise Parker. He provided the pressure, and smart move there by Mac Marshall just to get rid of the football, because the last thing you want to do there with great field position is take a huge loss because of the incompletion and not a sack. It's going to be 2nd down and manageable barring the flag here.
Illegal formation, only 6 men on the line of scrimmage by the offense. 5-yard penalty, replay 2.
Well, no sooner did I say that, they back it up 5 yards, and now it is 2nd down and 10. But again, a heads-up play by Mac Marshall. But we mentioned it earlier, Gil, on a couple possessions ago. This does not favor Parkview. 2nd and 3rd and long is really not their forte. They really want 2nd and 3rd down to be 5 yards or less.
And we said the Parkview Panthers are going to run out of 80 different formations, and you see the casualty of that already. 2nd and 10 at the 36. You see the spread look. And the give straight ahead, that's Dawson. And he gets over the 30 down to about the 28-yard line. A nice run-off tackle.
You'll watch the blitz here by number 14, Mason Hart, and he just misses. He goes through the B gap. The run goes through the A gap. He does a great job recovering, but now Parkview's exactly where they want to be after the 6.5-yard gain. 3rd down and very manageable, great field position.
Manageable, 4 yards is right at the 30-yard line. 6:30 and counting down. The empty set. The man in motion, Marshall barking out signals. Scoreless here in Snellville. The Comets thinking about blitz, but back out. Marshall lofts it and finds a receiver, and that pass is complete down to about the 20-yard line. And what looked like that was Jay Turner stumbling and bumbling and able to hold on to the football.
They did send a blitz after all, Gil, and it was a long floating pass, but because there was a linebacker covering number 7, Marquise Parker, he didn't get his head around. He dropped it right into the hands of his wide receiver, Jay Turner. His first time he's touched the football so far tonight. Another nice play in the passing game at the exact time they needed it to happen for Parkview. Big first down, and Parkview's driving again.
They're driving again, and those short passes and being able to dink and dunk and being able to get it done. 1st and 10 in the red zone right now. And Parkview getting it done early on, and again they go to that Wildcat, another different formation. And we have stoppage of play and whistles.
The snap, delay a game, offense.
You got to clean that up, Trey. You got to clean it up.
Well, Gil, you had just mentioned it. You took the words right out of my mouth. Because of all the formations,
Right.
you got to remember these are 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. 80 formations is an exaggeration. They really do run the same dozen plays out of 80 different formations. Very hard for these student athletes to wrap their mind around that. Sometimes the casualty of that, as you mentioned, can be lining up incorrectly. This time, they couldn't get to the line of scrimmage quick enough, and they'll suffer a 5-yard delay of game penalty.
That delay of penalty will cost them 5 yards, as Trey alluded to, making it 1st and 15. And they're waving the flag off. And explain that, Trey. What exactly transpired?
Well, what happened is Coach Cecil Flo pled his case that he raced down the line and actually called the timeout personally before the delay of game, because a coach can call the timeout. Doesn't have to occur on the field as it used to, and they're going to go ahead and grant him the timeout, so they save the 5 yards, but they do burn a timeout.
John Nelson.
Let's go to 6A this time as our tour around the 6A schools continues, and this one is getting a little interesting. You see Johns Creek, West Forsyth, Alpharetta. Chattahoochee won last night, so they will be the 4 playoff teams. We don't yet know the order because Lambert, right now, you see them at 6. 2 and 4 in the region coming in. They have an early lead over West Forsyth. So if Lambert can play spoiler for West Forsyth a little bit and knock them down a peg or two, this one could be in the blender a little bit as we head toward the end of the evening. A couple of quick scoring updates. Buford is up 21-0 early on in their game. Also on the board, Walton is leading in their game as well, so it's going to be interesting to see how things go as the night unfolds. And in the game we focused on in the open in single A, Eagles Landing Christian up 30-0 at the half over Landmark. Landmark, you remember, guys, was the single A runner-up last year, so Jonathan Guess really has the Chargers rolling in the first half of their game to decide their region title. Back upstairs.
Most definitely. And that, that region that preceded the score that you talked about, Eagles Landing. That Alpharetta Johns Creek game makes it really big tonight between those two in that region.
And those guys are playing for a lot, Gil, because they're playing for the right not to have to play Norcross or North Gwinnett, because in the playoffs they cross paths. Region 6 does with Region 7. They would much rather drop down and play a Mill Creek or a Collins Hill. No slight to those two teams. They've had great seasons in their own right, but I too would be very concerned about having to open up my playoff life with Norcross or North Gwinnett, two very, very good programs, both ranked in the top 10 in the 6A classification.
The big fullback Brandon Sullivan with the carry, a gain of 2. That'll take it down to about the 19, 2nd and 8. Cole again running out of the Wildcat, and the give straight ahead is to Rosser. Rosser gets over the 15, down to about the 12. They unearth everybody. Coming out of the scrum. See Carter down there in the middle of it, big number 49, and that's why he's among the leading tacklers on this football team. 3rd and 2 at the 13.
This is exactly what we expected to see from Parkview. We've both been, I believe, a little surprised how frequently they've aired it out, Gil, but this is what we expected. Rosser right, Rosser left, 3-4 yards of carry, big 3rd down here for the Panthers.
And scoring on a touchdown in the open hole is Rosser straight ahead. Touchdown Parkview. 14 yards. 408.
That's right, boy. Give your offensive lineman a high five right there, because look at the blocking on the right side of the line. Untouched into the end zone. This game is going exactly as Parkview designed it. They take an early lead, and they ate a lot of clock on that drive, Gil.
Justice Rosser on the touchdown. You see his numbers on the night. 5 carries for 29 yards and that touchdown. And they're going to go for the extra point. And the kick is up, and it is good by Tyler Stevenson. So it's Parkview drawing first blood here in Snellville. A ground look at Rosser in the end zone. 7-0, second quarter.
The wheels of progress haven't been very active lately. But because of business people like you, things are beginning to get rolling. And Regions is here to help, making it easier with the expertise and service to keep those wheels turning. From business loans to cash management, we want to be your partner moving forward. Let's get going together.
Gaze into the future where influenza outbreaks are a thing of the past.
Some estimates go as high as 60 million people died from influenza.
Where disease carriers can be identified in seconds.
My goal is to make it easier for people to get flu vaccination.
Or a single vaccination can protect you from every strain, past, present, and future. That's what's being envisioned by scientists here in Georgia and created in your backyard. Catch the first edition of The Future Files, Tuesday at 8.
Back here in Snellville, Parkview getting on the board first, courtesy of that gentleman, Justice Rosser. And you see the scoring drive brought to you by our good friends at Technical College System of Georgia. Learn more, earn more.
This is a great look, Gil, to check out and spotlight the offensive line. No yards after the catch necessary. They seal off the entire defensive left side, and you had a run blitz there by DeConte Davis. He comes upfield. He gets kicked out by the fullback, and it's smooth sailing 14 yards into the end zone, Gil. We said it before, and I try not to overstate it, but Parkview's success this season can be attributed in large part to their offensive line. They have done such a great job this year. It's a cornerstone of this Parkview team. When they are good, it's because they have big, physical offensive linemen, and it's the reason why, with 4 minutes to go before half, they lead this football game.
Led by, of course, Blake Dunham, the 4-year starter, and Trey DeRuin, Trey Malloy, Freddie Hart, and Ronnie Bailey. Blowing it wide open for Rosser to get in the end zone. An outstanding offensive line for Cecil Flow. And like I said, doing practice all this week, he was very animated and getting after those guys, and they're producing here in a big way tonight. The kick is booms out of the end zone. So South Gwinnett trailing 7-0 on seniors night here. Will take over 1st and 10, Trey. And Jordan Ramey has something cut out for him because he got to get his team back in at 4:08 before we go to halftime.
4:08 is an eternity for this offense. We've seen some of their skill position players, but they have yet to complete a pass down the field. They've gotten on the perimeter, Morrison and Gainey, but they need to start completing passes in the middle of the football field.
Ramey with the snap. Still with the football, turning a corner. Gets up to the 30, about to the 32.
A rare,
got on the edge.
Excuse me, Gil, a rare option look by South Gwinnett. Boyd, the pitch man. Ramey's looking at the defensive end. He sees that he's being blocked. He takes it upfield. He's already made one really nice run tonight. That's a 10-yarder. Let's see if that play can kickstart this South Gwinnett offense. You see, if we get a look at the defense, that Parkview is playing 2 deep safeties against this offense. Their goal right now, Gil, a good shot right there, is to keep everything in front of them.
The play fake. And Ramey under pressure is going to loft it long, and it falls incomplete. The intended receiver out there for South Gwinnett was L.J. Gainey. He was about up near midfield. So, wow. We have a flag on the play and a roughing the passer.
We've already seen a roughing the passer earlier in the game by South Gwinnett. Now they're the recipient of a roughing the passer call.
Here's a replay. Let's take a look at it, Trey.
Yep, and just like the call against South Gwinnett, anytime a defender can take 3 or 4 steps before making contact with the quarterback, it's assumed that he could pull up. He did not.
Against the defense, that's a
good call.
penalty, automatic, first down.
It was Sam Willis, the nose tackle, who came free and laid the hit on Jordan Ramey. He's been harassed a lot the past 2 drives, Gil.
Yes, he has.
Every time he drops back, not only has the defensive backfield for Parkview been impressive so far tonight, but they've been getting pressure from the corners, and that time, for the first time tonight, they got pressure up the middle.
1st and 10 at the 45 for South Gwinnett. Ramey, the give, and that's to Boyd. Turns the corner of the edge, gets into Parkview territory at about the 47-yard line. Among those on the stop is Kyle Williams. And we continue to call his number. What a productive player he is for Cecil Flow.
Yeah, Coach said he was voted to the North-South All-Star game, but he hasn't quite decided whether he wants to play yet. Very great, good size, 6'1", 230 pounds for a linebacker. 6 different schools looking at him. You see him there.
It's Boyd again on the edge. And he gets to the 45, down to about the 44. And he gets another first down. Sam Willis on the stop for Parkview.
Gil, this South Gwinnett offense right now is the beneficiary of their high-octane offense and what they've been able to accomplish up to this game. Parkview's defense has given their passing game so much respect that they see an opening here on the near side of the field, and they've given it to Boyd on back-to-back carries, and he's picked up 2 first downs.
That's another first down for South Gwinnett, who continues to run out of the hurry-up. Ramey, that's Boyd, and he's stepped up at about the 45-yard line, and no gain. And John Patterson, the inside linebacker, making the stop, 6'1", 215-pound junior.
Yeah, number 20 did a great job right there, the junior.
No gain, making it 2nd and 10 at the 45. 2:26 counting down here. 7-0 Parkview, courtesy of the touchdown, a 14-yard touchdown by Rosser. Ramey, the play fake, loads up, looks for a receiver, has one there, and the lunging grab, and that's a touchdown. Tyrone Atchison, 45 yards.
Gil, you knew it was coming. Once they crossed midfield, they kept running. It was Boyd right, Boyd right, Boyd right, Boyd left, and all of a sudden they hit you with the big play action, and you see the big arm, plants that foot, 5-step drop. Little bit underthrown, but a great job going up. Ball hawking there by Atchison. This is what the South Gwinnett offense has done all year. Now we've seen Parkview do what they do best and South Gwinnett do what they do best. Now we got a battle on our hands with 2 minutes before the half.
Matthias Jonas on for the extra point. It's up. And it's good. You just saw the touchdown replay by our good friends at TCSG. Learn more, earn more. Tyrone Atchison, 45 yards out of the arm of Mr. Jordan Ramey. As Trey said, a 5-step drop in the air and a leap, and beating the defender for the touchdown. South Gwinnett.
That was a great shot of Ramey's eyes. He was not going to go anywhere else with the football. That ball was designed to go to Atchison the whole way. And here's South Gwinnett's resume. This is a big deal tonight that a region title's on the line because they've only won 2 in 57 years. They did make the state finals in '93. They lost that year to Dunwoody in the state championship game. 01 was their best record, 12-1. 3 playoff appearances in 8 years. Coach Small really turning this program around. And of course, their most famous player of all time is none other than David Green, the big-time quarterback for the University of Georgia. Also played a little while with the Patriots, is now retired. And you got another good quarterback right there in Jordan Ramey. 5 plays, 80 yards, a minute 59. Our scoring drive brought to you by TCSG. Learn more, earn more. And all of a sudden, Gil, we're all knotted up at 7 apiece.
Yes, we are. Roberto Lindsay will try to boom it out. And back to receive for the Parkview Panthers is Keanu Mole. Mole will take it, open space, gets outside over the 30, 35, 40. Still on his feet, but he had a foot out of bounds, and they'll spot it about the 40-yard line, where Parkview will take over 1st and 10 right there. John Nelson, hello again and again and again.
Thank you, Gil. Let's talk about another region, and let's play potluck. I'm going to ask the truck what region they want me to focus on, and I'll just go ahead and talk about it. What region, guys?
7.
7 6A. Okay. Now, Norcross, you see them at the top of the ladder. They've already clinched, but the interesting part comes with Collins Hill and Mill Creek. They're playing each other tonight. That's how 3 and 4 will end up, making sure that they end up going on the road for their first tall order of the year. North Gwinnett has Peachtree Ridge tonight. North Gwinnett could end up a solid second with a win. They'll go 7-1 if they knock off Coach Fleetwood and Peachtree Ridge tonight. Obviously, the Lions have had a really tough year. It's going to be interesting to see how things shake out in 7 6A. Norcross ends their regular season tonight with a game against Meadow Creek. They're at the bottom of the ladder. So once again, guys, Norcross being picked by a lot of folks to be in the Final Four when it comes to 6A. You're talking Lounge, you're talking Camden, you're talking Norcross, and maybe even Lassiter by the time we're through.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Norcross that good.
I
Coach
do.
Maloof has a team that's centered around Kamara, and they got a lot of talent.
Well, I'd center my team around him as well. One of the best backs in the state by far. Speaking of good backs, very unfortunate to hear that Tyron Jones went down for Walton Gill. We had the opportunity, or the pleasure I might add, of covering him the first few weeks of the season. He's absolutely a special player. He went down with a leg injury. Of course, Chris Carson here for Parkview went down, an 1,100-yard rusher.
Parkview tried to run that Wildcat, and South Gwinnett was going to have none of it. Weston Simmons among those standing over the ball cower.
One thing you're going to see from the South Gwinnett defense, Gil, moving forward is they're going to start getting a little bit more aggressive, especially now that the game is tied, because they know, regardless of formation, it's pretty simple what Parkview wants to do. They want to take that offensive line that we just talked about a few minutes ago, and they want to win that leverage battle at the line of scrimmage. It's almost like from here on out, Gil, goal line offense and defense, no matter where they are on the field, because of the heavy run attack for Parkview.
Rosser was stood up by Donovan Kelly. That'll bring up 2nd and long at the 33. And that's Mole on the edge, getting over the 45, close to midfield, and pushed out of bounds at about the 47-yard line.
Because he goes out of bounds, Gil, the clock's going to stop. Watch number 22, the junior fullback, Brandon Sullivan, downfield blocking on the left of your screen right there. And a good individual effort there by number 1, Keanu Mole. He's probably been the most active part of their offense so far tonight. You can tell they're making a concerted effort to get him the football, especially on the corner.
Get him the ball and get him in space. You're exactly right, Trey McDaniel. 3rd and 7 at the 43. A minute 3 until halftime. And lunging forward with that surge, lower body. Surge and pushing his way forward was DeMonte Dawson. Eckers on the stop. You see the Parkview honor roll we're going to put up, and Trey, some impressive names on that list.
And there's some guys that couldn't make the cut just for the sake of our graphic. Obviously the Stinchcomb brothers, the Myers brothers aren't even on there. Great players. Everyone knows about Jeff Francoeur. Michael Palmer right now, the backup tight end for the Falcons. I played against Ansley Battles, who went on to play at Vanderbilt.
Who won?
And Jacksonville. We won the game. He might have won the battle. He was a fantastic player. Brett Conway kicked for such a long time in the NFL. And of course, 2 really good ones during their heyday, Gil. Caleb King and Brad Lester. 2 of the best running backs I've personally ever seen at the high school level right there.
If anybody knows talent, it's Trey McDaniel, and he played against a slew of it right there. Just a reminder, coming up at halftime, the marching bands, rent check. You get a look at Cecil Flo, Are You Smarter? Johns, Georgia, and Raven Tirado. Mark Harmon and company standing by, getting warm and getting ready for you. Under a minute. We're knotted up at 7. And it'll bring up a punting situation for Parkview, and back to receive for the Comets of South Gwinnett. Bernard Morrison will stand at his own 20. And Hunter Thornton will punt at his own 30. Low snap. but he is able to get it up high. End over end. And Morrison will let it drop, and it'll take a South Gwinnett roll, and Justin Rosser falls on it for Parkview. So South Gwinnett will take over first and 10. There's Marky Mark in the middle. Wish we had one of those, you know, we could draw, you know, Etch-a-Sketch to put up there and show them.
I need a telestrator.
Coming up at halftime. Telestrator, Are You Smarter? Marching bands and rent check. We talked about that earlier, and of course Raven Tirado and company.
They're all bundled up. Look at
Yes,
Robert
they are.
down there.
They got a heater down there,
Parka,
you know. Yeah.
Hoodie.
Our executive producer Bob Rienza bought them a heater. Didn't give us one, but gave them one. But they're the A team.
What does that make us?
A plus.
Good answer.
And of course, great crew led by the commander, who's been promoted to admiral.
There's the propane
Steve Graham.
tank.
There's the propane.
It's only going to get colder, guys. I'm sorry to tell you.
He sent a crew out shopping for that. Went to Target and looking for stuff and getting it ready, you know. 15 ticks to go until we get to halftime.
Obviously, Parkview and both these
Knotted
teams,
up at
South
7.
Gwinnett,
Yes.
happy to go into the locker room, knotted up. This is not the time in the game when you want to make a crucial mistake. You go in and lick your wounds. Both teams, Gil, did some things well, did some things not so well. It's anybody's game at this point.
And we are at the close of the first half with the score 7-all. Parkview and South Gwinnett tied at 7. Both teams are exiting the field here, and of course halftime festivities will continue. Let's go downstairs to John Nelson standing by with Coach Small. Gentlemen.
Thank you, GT. Here with the coach for 22 minutes. You know, it was Parkview football. Then you got the big shot.
Yeah, we made a big play there at the end of the half, but they're playing tremendous defense at Parkview, which we knew they had a great defense. We're not doing a very good job right now blocking them up front, and they're doing a great job. We've got to go in there and we've got to figure out what we're going to do in the second half to get them on, to get our offense going against their defense. And defensively, our guys have hung in there. We gave them some field position there in the second quarter to let them get a touchdown, but our kids responded right back, and it's going to be a war in the second half.
All right, thanks for your time, Coach. Let's send it over to Mark Harmon, best seat in the house as the halftime begins right here in Snellville. Mark.
John, thanks so much. Best seat in the house and the propane heaters as well. We've got a big show coming up on halftime for you on Football Fridays in Georgia. Coming up, we'll hear from both marching bands. We'll talk to the principals and ask them the tough questions on the Are You Smarter test. We'll have scores from around the state with Raven Tirado. All that and much, much more on our Football Fridays halftime show. Right now, Parkview and South Gwinnett locked in a struggle. 7-7 as the Region 8 championship is on the line. Stay with us.
And it may
We're at halftime of the Parkview South Gwinnett game live from Snellville, Georgia. So let's check in now with the sounds of the Parkview Panther Marching Band presented by Regions Bank. Great job by the Parkview Marching Band there. We now welcome into the program the principal of Parkview High School, David Smith. David, thanks so much for coming on with us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Exciting game. You guys playing for a region championship here, all tied up 7-7, a win, and the Panthers are in.
Yes, that's what we're shooting for. I know the kids are very excited about the opportunity to win the region.
Talk a little about what's going on at Parkview High School these days.
Lots and lots going on. You can see our band out there. We've got a wonderful fine arts program at school. Our athletic programs are top-notch, and we're very, very fortunate. We have a wonderful community that supports the school, and that's what helps us.
You guys have a long, long tradition of great football at Parkview, 4 state championships since '97.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Coach Flo and the football program have been very successful, and this year, happy to see him on the right track again.
All right, it's time to play that game. Are you smarter than your students? A question taken from our Today in Georgia History project. So let's see what you've got here. November 5th, 2002. Sonny Perdue was elected Georgia's 81st governor on November 5th, and he was known for what? Was it playing the A, radio, B, hopscotch, C, football, or D, the pipe organ?
I believe Governor Perdue played football. Answer C.
He did play football. He was a quarterback. He was a very good football player, and I think he did very well. Hey, listen, thanks very much. Good luck.
Thank
you
you,
guys
Mark.
are in the playoffs one way or another, so good luck in your run to the Georgia Dome.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks very much. For more information on our Today in Georgia History Project, which is a joint production of the Georgia Historical Society and GPB, it's easy. Just go to todayingeorgiahistory.org. When we Welcome back to GPB's Football Fridays in Georgia halftime show. It's 7-7 right now. Parkview and South Gwinnett, the Region 8 championship on the line. A Parkview win and they're in, but South Gwinnett could win if the cards run right. We now welcome into the program the principal of South Gwinnett High School, Eric Thigpen, who's brand new. Congratulations on your new position there.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to serve in the land of the Comets.
And it's senior night, which is a very special night here at South Gwinnett High School.
It is a very special night. It's a time for us to celebrate 4 years of academic success here at South Gwinnett High School, so we celebrate with our parents and our students.
Now, I know one thing, we have a Stop the Drop program going. It's very important to you to keep these kids in high school, get them graduated and on to the next level.
That is so important for us, and we really have a focus of that here. We have a slogan of college not if but where, but we're really trying to help our students understand that it's not just getting to college, but it's also staying in college and graduating from college as well. And so we have a great focus on the SAT as well as the ACT here, and trying to improve our AP scores as well.
All right, it's time to play that game. Are you smarter than your students? A question from our Today in Georgia History program. So let's see what it says here. It says May 12th, 1791. George Washington visited Georgia only once in his life. Why did he make that trip? Was it A, to strengthen national unity? B, he heard of peach trees were easier to chop than cherry trees. C, wooden dentures were on sale, 2 for 1. Or D, to sample 200 beverages at the World of Coke.
Well, I think history would say he's a great leader, and he tried to unify this country, so I'll say A.
There's the ding. You are right. You're smarter than your students. Congratulations, and good luck at South Gwinnett High School.
Thank you so much.
All right. For more information on Today in Georgia History, which is a joint production of the Georgia Historical Society and GPB, it's easy. Just go to todayingeorgiahistory.org. Now, time to bring in John Nelson. He's been scouring the state for all kinds of stories. And you got a story tonight about a team that's won its first region title ever, right?
The first ever. We got a line of first evers, and our trip took us to Langston Hughes High School down in Fairburn, and it's a cool story about a 4-year program.
Guard, tackle over, tight end. They got an extra man on this side, so what do we need to do?
Langston Hughes High is in its 4th year of varsity football, set to send off its first graduating class this summer. So when it came to Willie Cannon's program, he had to play freshmen out of the box and got a 61-12 wake-up call in their 3rd game ever.
The biggest thing I remember is having a bunch of kids try for football that had never played high school football before. And then we went down to Brooks County, and that was one to remember.
Playing here as a freshman, it was rough, because everybody knows we went down to Brooks County. Playing them, that's what made me say, oh, I need to get in the weight room, I need to become a better player. Like, they really showed me, they really opened my eyes about high school football.
After years of 2-7, 2-8, and 3-7, not a whole lot was thought of the Panthers this year off campus. But all they've done is go 8-1 coming into tonight, grab a region title, and be this close to adding to their list of first evers.
It feels good, you know, going 8-1, 4-0 in the region. It feels good because everybody doubted us as an underdog. So we just put in work once again on this field, practice field, weight room, blood, sweat, and tears, running all those gasoils and everything, just working for what we want.
We know, well, when we started working out in the summer, we know what we had to do and what we came to accomplish on the field. So we all came together as one, and we all trying to get to state.
And if the Uglies up front, known as the Foundation, have anything to say about it, that's exactly what they're building. And right now, they're playing Westlake in their final game of the regular season. We'll give you a scoring update right now. It is scoreless, and thanks to our friends at the Greystone Power Corp for helping us out with that segment.
You know, it's great to see some new places and new faces heading to the playoffs.
450 schools in the GHSA, and there's a story at every one of them.
All right, thanks very much, John Nelson. Now let's check in with the sounds of the South Gwinnett High School Marching Band presented by Regions Band. South Gwinnett High School Marching Band always doing a great job. We now welcome in Raven Tirado, and she's a very, very important person, more important than normal because today's the last day of the regular season and you've got scores from around the state.
Yes, we've got our Georgia EMC scoreboard. It's a very exciting day of football, obviously everyone knows because we're getting into those playoffs. I'll start off with Gainesville at Flowery Branch. It's 21-7 at the half, and then we have McEachern and Hillgrove. Hillgrove making quite the fight, 19-14 in the second. Brookwood at Grayson. Brookwood's losing 13-21 at the half. Candice having quite the game there. Camden County 6, Colquitt County 0 at the half. Lassiter 28, Etowah at the half, Etowah 3 at the half. Meadow Creek 0, Norcross 49 at the half. Northside Warner Robins 10, Evans 0 at the half. MLK 14, Miller Grove 6 at the half. We have an update on the Marist Carver Atlanta score. Carver 7, Marist 0 in the second. Calhoun 35 and Chattooga 7 at the half. And before we move on, I have to tell you about our social media. We have a lot going on. Friday Night Footballs aren't just for TV, it's also for the internet. You can watch our games live online at gpb.org/sports. Also like us on Facebook. You can see all the behind the scenes going on with this crazy crew. You can see photos, you can see videos. I did a little dance for Grace Olson earlier, so go on there and check it out and all the festivities from tonight. Also, go follow us on Twitter. We have updates there. And go get that GPB Sports app. It's free. Yes, I said it's free, so why wouldn't you get it? Get it on your iPad or your iPhone. If you don't have an iPad or iPhone, then go get one or borrow one. I don't care which one you do. You get virtual tours, you get score updates, and all the scores from around the state. So don't forget to get that app. And before I let you go, I got to give a shout out to Miss Nikki Noto. She's watching, and she makes her sideline debut this week.
Right, the Indiana-Iowa game, I think.
Yes, I think Wisconsin, actually. Yes, excuse me.
All right, ESPN 2.
Yes,
Good
sir.
job. You've got a rent check. You got to take off. We'll see you in just a second.
All right.
All right. Well, believe it or not, it is on to playoff time. This is the last week of the regular season. The playoffs are next week. Our GPB Sports will once again be your home for the GHSA postseason. We'll have all the best games all the way to the state championship games in the Georgia Dome in December. GPB is your home for the GHSA championships. The real fun begins next Friday night on Football Fridays in Georgia, playoff style, and we will have that for you just as soon as we can. We'll have it up on our website and all the brackets as soon as we get that information. Now, time for our Career Play of the Week presented by the Technical College System of Georgia. Skilled trades and careers where education is hands-on. The work is rewarding and the careers are built from the ground up. His career includes automotive and diesel engine technicians' jobs. Job forecasters predict that nearly every field of skilled trades will grow over the next few years. That even includes exciting careers in motorsports. It takes skills and training, but with the right tools, you can build your future. That's why the entire field of skilled trades is our Career Play of the Week. This message is brought to you by the Technical College System of Georgia. Visit tcsg.edu for more information. It is a great night here at South Gwinnett High School. It is 7-7 at the half. Parkview with the win. They are in. They are region champs. South Gwinnett, if they can win and Grayson loses, they're region champs. Let's check in now with Raven Tirado with another edition of a week call Rent Check, checking in with the parents.
Hey,
Raven?
thanks, Mark. Yes, we've got another edition of Written Check. If you don't know what it is, we ask the parents and the siblings how much they know their son out there on the field right now. Mason Hart, number 14 of South Gwinnett, is our featured player. We've got his mom, Melissa, dad, Mike, and brother, Matt. I'll start with you, Matt, okay? So, who is his favorite athlete?
Eric Berry.
All right, good job, good job. All right, favorite subject, Dad?
History.
All right, we're on a roll. Okay, Mom, what's his least favorite chore he likes to do?
Probably he's making up his bed.
Close enough. It's cleaning his room.
Yeah, well.
All right, we've got one more. If not football, what would it be, Dad?
If not for what?
If it wasn't football he was playing, what would it be?
Baseball.
All right, these parents and brothers seem to know him very well. We've got some T-shirts for y'all. You're not going away empty-handed. Thank you for joining us on Rent Check.
Raven, thanks so much. We're getting ready to kick off the second half of this Parkview South Gwinnett Comets game. But before we get back to the action, we want to tell you a way that you can show your appreciation for high school football on GPB. It's easy. You can text a $10 donation to GPB to help keep programming like this on the air. All you have to do is text the letters GPB to the number 85944. Be sure to reply yes, and message and data rates may apply. Now, I usually say now it's time to send it back to Gil and Trey and take it away, but today I'm saying, Trey, happy birthday.
Thank you, Mark Harmon. And on behalf of Trey, happy birthday to Trey. Halftime festivities are wrapping up here in Snellville, 7-all. We'll be right back after these important messages on the great GPB. All right, back here at South Gwinnett, tied at 7 downstairs to John Nelson standing by with Parkview Cecil Flowe. Gentlemen.
Thank you, GT. Here with the coach. You know, for the first, 22 minutes, it was Parkview football. You had time of possession. You had them on their heels.
Yeah, we didn't execute very well down here on the goal line. And, you know, we left some opportunities on the field, and you can't do that right now. And other than that, defense is playing good, gave up one long ball. You know, we can't get beat on long balls all night long. And, you know, we got to execute better on offense. And if we do that and control the ball a little bit, we should get some more points.
All right, thanks for your time, Cecil. Good luck second half. Send it back upstairs to Gil and Trey. So, Gil and Trey, take it away. First half highlights.
On Trey's birthday, nonetheless. Cecil Flowe not too ticked off, is he?
Well,
kind of like what he's seeing.
Well, here's why. They got a Shaq Vereen picks off this pass in the first quarter, takes it all the way down. It's first down at the South Gwinnett 12-yard line. They're unable to capitalize. They miss a 27-yard field goal. And here you see a huge hit. That was maybe the play that turned momentum for South, but Justice Rosser gets in the end zone, very methodical, Parkview-like drive. They go up 7-0, and then South Gwinnett, in a very South Gwinnett-like way, comes back. They cross midfield. They go play action after 3 consecutive runs, hit the big-time ball, which you just heard Coach Cecil Flowe alluding to Atchison, and that's how we got here at 7 apiece. Neither one of these two teams has played poorly. You see the total yard advantage going to South Gwinnett, no surprise there. And Parkview winning the time of possession battle, no surprise there. So both teams are doing a little bit of what they want, but I've been very surprised tonight at how well both defenses have played. Parkview's offensive line has had one very good drive that led to a touchdown, and Jordan Ramey hit that long, deep ball. It's going to be a battle of wills right now. Which one of these teams can force the opposing team to play their brand of football? That's the team that'll win the game.
And a Region 8 championship at stake here tonight, and right now those numbers reflect the ebb and flow of what seems to be going the way of the Lilburn-based Parkview High School. Correct me, Trey, am I right?
You absolutely are. Okay. And there you see Jordan Ramey. It's all going to fall on his shoulders if they're going to win. The Comets are their 3rd region title in the history of this school. They've got to win this game, and they need Brookwood to defeat Grayson. In the 3rd quarter, Grayson is up, though, Gil, 28-13 over Brookwood. No surprise there. Grayson really clicking on all cylinders, and it was the loss to Parkview earlier in the season that really got them refocused. Grayson is back in the conversation as maybe the front runner, them in Camden, to maybe win it all, although we've talked about some other people kind of laying in the weeds tonight, Norcross and Lassiter, just to name a few.
You see Mac Marshall, you see his numbers on the night, you know, a lot of basically, you know, pretty much even Steven as it relates to balance, passing and rushing the football.
Yep.
And they've run primarily out of the Wildcat here tonight.
And it's not an indictment on him, Gil. He's not being asked to do what Jordan Ramey does for the Comets. He's not being asked to throw for 2,000-3,000 yards per season. He's asked to control the ball and get everybody lined up in those multitude of formations and establish that running game.
And Parkview will kick it off here to start the second half. And back to receive Morrison and Assay. And booming it in the back of the end zone, 10 yards deep, and it goes out. And it will be South Gwinnett football 1st and 10 at their own 20. 12 minutes to go here in the third quarter. We're about ready to get it started, the opening quarter here in the third quarter. And 1st and 10 at their own 20. The Comets of South Gwinnett, and they'll start with a no huddle.
Feel for South Gwinnett right now to start the third quarter. It's all about getting Jordan Ramey into a rhythm. Look for some high percentage passes, maybe sprinkle in the run, and maybe if they can get close to midfield, maybe they'll mix in that play action again that they got that long touchdown pass on.
Ramey with 3 wide receivers to the near side, loads up and guns it. And it is complete at the 25-yard line. And that is our good friend Mr. Gainey, L.J. Gainey. A gain of 5, and that'll make it 2nd and 5. Second and 5 at the 25. And Boyd and Ramey collided. And Boyd tackled in the end zone, loss of a couple.
You know, the outside linebacker, Kyle Williams, who we keep talking about, almost took the handoff in the backfield. I'm not exactly sure if Ramey really wanted to give the ball to Boyd or not, but he didn't have much of a choice because Kyle Williams was back there blowing up the play. So after a nice gain in the passing game to Gainey on 1st down, you're now at 3rd and long because of the tackle for loss.
You're looking at a great player, folks, number 21. He's an outstanding talent. You can see why 6 schools are looking after him, and I guarantee you there'll be a whole lot more after this football game here tonight. Ramey scrambling up over the 25-30, slides his way close to the 40-yard line. And that's another Comet 1st down.
Gil, if we can get a good look at this, Parkview has now come out in the mismatch defense. Nobody down in the 3-point stance, nobody in a 4-point stance, a lot of movement before the snap, and there you see Williams again pressuring Ramey, but you see the best player on defense against the best player on offense. Nobody's open downfield. He pulls the ball down. Great move here on a fantastic linebacker by Ramey. Very dangerous when he decides to run the football.
This Boyd sweeping around, but he gets hemmed in and is nowhere. Gets absolutely nowhere. Bryce Lewis, it smells it out and makes the tackle. And a loss of about 3. Take a look at Bryce Lewis, and offered at Vanderbilt just again another outstanding talent, Trey.
They've got a great defense skill, only giving up 13 points a game. We saw Bryce Lewis very early in this football game make a nice play from his corner position on the ball on a sideline on the far side here, and another penalty comes in.
A penalty. Micah Finley looks like he jumped the snap count.
Prior to the snap, encroachment by the defense, remains 2nd down.
That's the kind of thing that's going to drive Coach Flo crazy, and he's already a little bit aggravated right now with the way that his offense is executed, but he's been very pleased up till now with his defense. You just had a very potent offense backed up 2nd and very long, giving them free yardage. It's not a good recipe here.
Ramey trying to escape and is pinned back for a loss, and a great tackle by Sam Willis, who blew it up and came in and made the stop.
You know, they sent number 20, the junior John Patterson, on a linebacker blitz. He came unscathed, wasn't able to finish the drill, but Sam Willis comes up from the nose tackle position and does a great job finishing up and cleaning up the mess. Remember, Willis is the guy that came up from the nose tackle position earlier on a ball that Ramey threw away and got a roughing the passer call there. A legit hit and a big-time sack, 3rd and forever now for South Gwinnett.
5'6", 180 pounds, blowing it up. Big time, 3rd and long. For South Gwinnett, Ramey still under pressure, and he gets nailed again and is tackled for a loss. And a coverage sack right there by Hunter Thornton. Oh.
You've got Parkview Panthers coming untouched. Williams sets the edge, turns him back inside, and a beautiful tackle made there by Hunter Thornton, who also serves as the team's punter, also very, very active as a defensive end. Probably the quietest guy on the field, as Coach said, and probably the most undersized defensive end they've ever had. He played a lot bigger than his stature right there, a huge sack.
Devontae Spivey will punt it his own two, booms it out, a fair catch by Marshall. Right at the 48-yard line, where Parkview will take over with a short field. GPB's original production. Along with tonight's broadcast, be sure to catch GPB's Emmy Award-winning nature series, Georgia Outdoors, at its new time. Sunday prime time at 7:30 p.m. See the beauty of the great state of Georgia in all 4 seasons of its glory. Find out about its remarkable natural habitats. Georgia Outdoors, Sundays at 7:30, right before nature, only on GPB. I love that music, don't you?
Oh, what? I dozed off for a second.
Come on now. Turning the corner and getting big yardage. Off of the Wildcat was Keanu Mole, and you said Keanu Mole has been getting a whole lot of touches here tonight. He's a big play guy, and Cecil Flo wants the ball in his hands because he can make it happen.
Let me take you back to the touchdown drive that Parkview had. Remember, they got great field position after almost getting Jordan Ramey for a safety on that possession. They started that possession around the 35-yard line and drove it down the field and score. Here they get great field position again, starting out in South Gwinnett territory. And again, Gil, they're going primarily to the run game. No surprise there for Parkview, but a great job right there by South Gwinnett to sniff it out. You have not seen a whole lot of tackles for no gain or tackles for loss here by the South Gwinnett defense. You just saw one there by the nose tackle, Nadarius Eckers.
And also Donovan Kelly in the neighborhood as Richard Walker tried to run downhill. And no gain. 7:26 and counting down here in the third quarter. 3rd and 8. Marshall heaving it long. And that is going to get almost picked off after it was handled like a hot potato. Are you kidding me? Huh?
Gil, if you watch the replay, they sent number 17 outside linebacker DeConte Davis on the blitz. Marshall sees him coming, heaves it up. First of all, Colton Nash has a shot at it.
Right.
Then Mason Hart has a shot at it. There's no Parkview really in sight, Parkview player really in sight, and they just let an opportunity slip through their hands. They are going to get off the field here, but they could have had much better field position because had they picked that ball off, they would have had a lot of room to return it. Instead, Parkview gets to play the field position game, which they love to do. Coach Flo will take this all day.
Bernard Morrison stands at his own 15. And he'll let it go. And it will be down inside the 5, down to about the 4. And South Gwinnett will take over again. 1st and 8. And downing the football was Nick Lawson. John Nelson, hello.
Hey, GT, first trip of the second half is going to go to Region 4 6A, and I know I kind of have to do this on the hop because of the way that South Gwinnett has their offense squared away. You see McEachern and Hillgrove, they're playing tonight. It's a bit of a battle. If Hillgrove wins, they go to 6-1 overall. They go to 6-2 overall. And that could end up with a tie with North Cobb, who's playing Campbell down at the bottom of the ladder. Marietta and Harrison are playing tonight as well. Quick scoring update from Region 7. At the half, Peachtree Ridge is leading North Gwinnett. So that could throw a wrench into somebody's monkey by the time we're through with the evening, guys.
Boyd gets stood up by a horde of Parkview Panthers and possibly a gain of 1.
Gil, the interesting thing about the graphic that we just saw is that Region 4 that John just broke down, unfortunately, they have to go against what Nelson calls the Region of Doom in Region 1. So these teams are fighting for the chance to not have to play Camden or Lowndes in the first round. But if they don't, they're going to end up with Valdosta, Colquitt, or Coffee. So it doesn't get much better than that.
Ramey loaded up. And it was batted down. The intended receiver over there would look like it was Morrison. And Hunter Thornton got his mitts up big time.
He did. This is exactly how you're taught to play defensive end. You rush, rush, rush. If you can't get to the quarterback, get your arms up in the air and bat it down. 6'1", 215 pounds. He comes into this game, Gil, despite having his counterpart, Kyle Williams, getting most of the accolades. Hunter Thornton actually leads the team in tackles.
Here's a stat I'm going to throw at you. South Gwinnett right now 1 for 8 on 3rd down.
Very un-South Gwinnett-like, but they keep being pinned down inside their own territory, and that severely limits their offense. And right now they're begging for the coaching staff to get the play in the game so they don't get a delay a game.
They load up the near side among those on that side are gaining. And Ramey gets it in the slot and in space, and that's Morrison. Still on his feet, a great cutback move. And he gets close to the 40-yard line. And then making a great tackle to bring him down was Justice Rosser.
Gil, watch this.
First down, South Gwinnett.
Pre-snap, they're moving all around. There's 4, you can call them defensive linemen if you'd like to. They're all moving around pre-snap. And so how do you neutralize that aggression? You throw it underneath and you throw a screen pass. There's a lot of traffic there, but a wonderful play call, probably the best play call of the night for South Gwinnett.
Boyd in the backfield with Rennie. That's Boyd on the edge, the hurdle move. And it's over the 40, up to about the 43 to the 44.
This is the play that they ran on back-to-back plays near midfield right before they took that deep shot to Atchison that scored their only touchdown. And here they do it again as they approach midfield. They'll take 5 yards on 1st down all night long, but I really think they're going to have to make their hay in the passing game. I like mixing in Boyd from time to time, but I really think the middle of the field is wide open for them if they can get a guy like Morris in there.
John Patterson on the stop, play fake. Ramey has a receiver, that's Morrison. In Parkview territory, brought down at about the Parkview 44-yard line.
Morrison right in the middle of the field, exactly as I predicted.
Where you said he would be.
He is their weapon. He is their most versatile offensive threat. They've got to get him the football more, and right now they're doing it. It's no surprise that they're moving the ball.
Shaq Vereen on the stop, and it's South Gwinnett moving the football with a little ball control. Ramey on the edge, and he has Morrison at the Parkview 25.
One thing,
Shaq Vereen on the stop.
One thing Coach Small was very complimentary of with his quarterback is his ability to move the pocket. He rolls out and throws a very accurate pass, and their 3 biggest gainers on this drive have gone to Bernard Morrison, 6 foot, 190 pounds, comes into the game, 6 touchdowns rushing, 3 touchdowns receiving, almost 1,000 yards on the season. And Parkview's forced to call timeout right here, Gil, because they are absolutely gassed because of what you call this NASCAR pace that South Gwinnett's running.
You get a look at Cecil Flow. It's 1st and 10 for South Gwinnett at the Parkview 25. And the motto here at South Gwinnett, they'll tell you it's about character, academics, and then football. We're going to take a break. And South Gwinnett, the Comets are driving. 5:15 in the 3rd. We're knotted up at 7 in Snellville. More after this. Tied up here at 7 in the 3rd quarter, 5:15 to go, but the Comets are driving right now, Trey McDaniel, but you called it, getting guys in space. Ramey being able to load up and find his guys and moving the football down the field, and the hurry up, the NASCAR type of offense right now, and throwing Parkview, not getting them in rhythm on defense and not being able to get 8 and 9 in the box.
That's right.
What have you.
It's fun to watch the cat and mouse game between the 2 coaches because South Gwinnett got the ball to start the half. Parkview came out in this mishmash defense where no one was getting aligned or set before the snap, and now South Gwinnett has made an adjustment on that, and they're moving the ball.
You see Rainey's stats at the bottom of your screen starting to pick it up here, and that is Trevon Davis with the football.
Gil, this is rare blue-collar offense for South Gwinnett. First carry of the night, Trevon Davis, offensive line blocks down to their left, and watch the yards after contact for the big fella Trevon Davis. He earned every inch that he just got and picked up nearly 10 yards. They'll give him 8 on the carry, Gil, so 2nd down and 2. That's great down and distance for South Gwinnett as they've got an injured player coming off the field.
That's Matt Rouse, the toughest kid on this South Gwinnett football team, and he's in really a whole lot of pain, being helped off by the medical staff. But, you know, you talked about Trevon Davis. You know what his nickname is?
Tell me.
The Olympian. They call him the Olympian.
You see Rouse down on the field. Not often that you see a guard at the 6A classification.
He's pointing down at his
6 foot
at his knee and
210 pounds.
Tough kid.
Coach said, look, he's undersized at guard. I keep trying to find another place to put him because he doesn't really fit the size of a guard, but I can't get him off the offensive line because he's just so doggone tough. So you know if he's out of the game right now, as tough as he is, something's really bothering that young man. And he was pointing, as you mentioned, down near his ankle or foot.
And of course, he plays right guard, a 6 foot, 210 pound senior. And the heart and soul of this South Gwinnett offensive line. You see the passing game starting to click right now. You saw what they did in the first half and what they've done already here in the third quarter. 2nd and 3 at the 18. Tied up at 7. We're under 5 minutes here. Turning on the edge, that's Ford. Or correctly, that's Morrison. That's Morrison going over the 15, down close to about the 10. That's a first down, 1st and goal.
It is. They only needed 2 yards for the first down. One of the few times you'll actually see them just turn around and hand the ball off to Morrison. Normally they have an offensive wrinkle to get him involved in the game. Davis is more of their straight ahead runner, but they just needed to get the first down there, and now they can get back to doing what they do. Although they have 2 backs in the backfield. First time tonight, Gil, they're in the pistol formation.
They're in the pistol, and of course a lone back behind Ramey is the first man through. And that is Morrison again, like you said, lining him up in the pistol. Kyle Williams on the stop. And John Patterson also in the neighborhood. And those rotation of defensive linemen, they like to bring them out and bring them in.
And they have no choice, Gil, because these young men have been on the field for quite a while. A very long, sustaining drive. No wide receivers here, also pistol, Gil.
They rotate 7 kids among 3. Positions up front. And still with the football. And getting over the 10, inside the 10. And that's Morrison again.
Gil, Bernard Morrison, very deceptively big. Watch him go toe-to-toe here with Kyle Williams, who we've been talking about all night long. Williams was lucky enough to have help from John Patterson, and they were able to take him down. But the kid's 190 pounds, Gil. He looks more like a scat back, but 190 pounds is good size for a tailback.
Play fake Ramey in the back of the end zone, and he had a man, but he dropped it. That was Simmons in the back of the end zone, Trey.
You want to talk about a wrinkle? The starting defensive end not even listed on the offensive 2 deep. You just realize why he plays defensive end primarily. That was a wrinkle. He was wide open. He dropped it.
John.
Here's your update on Rouse really quickly. He's okay. He's going back in after a little while, but the biggest issue on the sideline really was to get him just to kind of dial it down a little bit and take some water so he could be examined so they could figure out that he's okay. So, you know, you have all of that stuff going on. Rouse will be going back in next opportunity, guys.
They're going to need him because he is the heart and soul of that offensive line. Real tough kid. As Coach Small takes a timeout, they want to talk about it. And you take a look at the South Gwinnett schedule and what they've been able to do, Trey, until this point.
Yeah, and nothing to be ashamed of there, Gil. You lost to Norcross. They're the number 3 team in the state currently. Grayson, their only other loss, the number 4 team in the state, averaging 35 points per game. A huge win over Brookwood last week. We talked about them going up 21-7 in that game. They let Brookwood come back and actually go ahead of them at halftime. They showed a lot of resiliency, came back, beat Brookwood for only the 5th time in school history. That's what set them up tonight with an opportunity to win the region. But of course, they need help from the team they just beat. They need Brookwood to beat Grayson tonight, and our last score on that one was 28-13. Grayson wins. Huge, huge, huge field goal opportunity here, Gil. 4th down, they're going to try to kick a field goal. It's been a dicey proposition up to this point this season.
That's Roberto Lindsay. The kick is up, and it is wide right. No good. Raven Tirado, talk to me.
Hey, Gil. Yeah, we've got a huge upset with only 6 minutes left. Colquitt is beating Camden County right now 7-6. That extra point could really hurt Camden County. Let's see what they can pull out, the #3 team in the nation. And our web feature game, Gainesville Flowery Branch, they're playing it like a true region title championship game. Should be played. It's 28-28 in the fourth with 11 minutes left. So we'll check out those games later and see who comes out with the win. Back to you guys.
Rush got him playing. For some reason, he has Camden County's number.
Well, Rush understands that his team needs to peak at the right time. He understands he plays in the toughest region in the state, maybe the toughest region in the country, and although he's concerned about winning region games, he knows he's got to peak at the right time, and he is.
First down for Parkview. And they had the football and were able to push it forward. It looked like Brandon Sullivan. Gain of about 3, making it 2nd and 7 at the 23.
Gil, both these teams have missed chip shot field goals. No matter who wins this game, the losing team is going to feel awful after this because of the missed opportunities.
Say a man in motion for Parkview. Marshall hands off the football. That's Rosser. Gets close to a first down, Trey.
Gil, it sure has that feel that if Parkview is able to rip off a long, time-consuming drive, that they're going to have a golden opportunity to win this football game. I would be surprised, unless it comes to a third down, if Parkview throws the ball at all on this drive. They're coming out in a traditional I formation, no wildcat here, Gil, with Mac Marshall under center.
Najee Morrison on the stop. Rosser able to get to that second level. Peeking his way through again is Rosser. See Rosser's numbers on the night: 8 carries, 49 yards, and that touchdown, that 14-yarder, which is Parkview's lone score here tonight.
And Gil, that young man didn't have his first carry until somewhere near the second quarter of the football game. And he did the bulk of the work on that touchdown drive that they had earlier in the game, although it was a short drive that started at the South Gwinnett 35. It was very Parkview-like, and they're hoping to get a similar drive right here. But South Gwinnett's defense has done a great job of making adjustments to ward off anything that's become predictable. Look for South Gwinnett to continue to do that. If Parkview wants to be successful on this drive, they're probably going to have to formation them to death, which is what they've done to every other school that they've beat so far this year. Lining up in a conventional offense has only paid dividends for Parkview for a very limited amount of time.
You see Marshall looking at his scripts, the plays he has on his wrist. 2nd and 6 facing him, and the Panthers tied at 7. That's Veal in motion. Bouncing off tacklers is Rosser, and he's close to another Parkview first down. That kid gets inside. Trey runs in between the tackles, and he is alone.
And keep in mind, the Parkview defense has been on the field a lot. Justice Rosser also starts at linebacker. He has been on the field for the majority of this football game, and he looks like he is getting stronger as the game is wearing on. That was by far his toughest run of the night.
Colton Nash on the stop. That is a first down for Parkview. Under a minute here in the third quarter. We're tied at 7 in Snellville. Glad to have you with us here on GPB here tonight. Brandon Sullivan lines up behind Marshall. Veal in motion. And the give, it looked like that was Dawson. Or correct me, that is Rosser again, the workhorse. And down right now for South Gwinnett is Donovan Kelly, the injured player. 31 ticks to go here in the third quarter. Tied up at 7. Cecil Flow's schedule. Started out, you see the loss to Norcross, Trey, but that big win over Grayson back on September 14th, and then take it from there.
Well, they really found themselves in that game. They had their starting quarterback, Rob Youngblood, go out with a collarbone break, So they bring in Mac Marshall, they bring in Chris Carson, and they really found a diamond in the rough in Chris Carson at that point. Obviously, he broke his leg a couple of weeks ago. He's out for the rest of the season, but they found the Wildcat, something that Parkview did not traditionally do, and it worked, and it paid major dividends. That Central Gwinnett loss, a 3-overtime affair. That's the game that Coach Flo really wishes he had back, but he finds himself in the 10th game of the regular season with an opportunity to control his own destiny. If they win this football game, it does not matter what happens 3 miles from here at Brookwood Grayson. Parkview will win a region championship.
John Nelson.
Time to catch up with action in 5A. We'll start you off with a score out of Region 5 right now. East Paulding shutting out Allatoona 23-0. Well, let's tell you about action in 6-5A. And this one is turning to be a little more interesting than it might have been coming into the evening. You look at MLK playing Miller Grove, and right now MLK only leading 14-6 at the break. Tucker beating Mays. It was 6-0 at one point, so Tucker in a struggle with Mays. Stevenson and North Atlanta, that game's being played tomorrow. So you could have some action if Mays hangs on to take Tucker out, and you have MLK hanging on there, so you have more dynamics with these 5 squads heading for these 4 spots when it comes to Region 6-5A, a place where we had back-to-back weeks of great football, guys.
No question about it, and of course had an opportunity to see what Robert Freeman has done, and of course that great MLK program. Go back to Kenny Barrow, what he did, and then of course Corey Jarvis and Coach Carson. And now Robert Freeman, and they're in a dogfight with Miller Grove, as John talked about, high snap. But still the ability to hold on to it, and that was off the Wildcat, and that was Rosser. And that's going to put an end to what has been a very fast third quarter. So as Trey McDaniel does every Friday night, and he's doing it tonight on his birthday, folks, stick up those 4 fingers. We're heading to the 4th. We're not up at 7 in Snellville. Glad to have you with us on the great GPB. Senior night here in South Gwinnett at South Gwinnett High School. And of course, Trey, they have their emotional leader, their 12th man. And he is a dandy fella.
Yep, they nicknamed him Touchdown Richard. That's Richard Corbett, kind of the inspirational leader of this football team. He's here at every single home game, graduated last year. The team's really rallied around him. As a matter of fact, their talented linebacker, Reggie Carter, allowed him to be captain in Reggie Carter's place during the Berkmar game, let him wear his jersey and everything. Goes to show that what Coach said about Reggie Carter really was true. A better guy, better kid than he is a football player. And you see a great shot there of Touchdown Richard.
Now, you guys, you see that, the action figure on the back of the wheelchair? That actually happened 3 years ago. That was created by his dad, Rick, for the Parkview game 3 years ago. They ended up winning that game. And sure enough, Coach said, well, Notre Dame's got Touchdown Jesus. South Gwinnett's got Touchdown Richard.
Marshall still on his feet. And he got it off, but it falls incomplete at about the 40-yard line. And Marshall looks like he's hurt, Trey.
Now, that was a jailbreak by Colton Nash, and you see he's got the eye of the tiger right there. He wishes he would have gotten the sack. Marshall did a great job getting rid of the ball, but he paid a steep price, Gil, as he limps off the field on what is 4th down now in a punting situation for Parkview. So right when it looked like they were going to put together some kind of establishing drive, South Gwinnett's defense stepped up like it has so many times tonight. This time, it's the senior Colton Nash.
And Bernard Morrison awaits at the 25. Hunter Thornton stands at his own 32. Low snap. And Morrison fair catches it at the 22, but we have some extracurricular activities at about the 40-yard line of Parkview, and we got some yellow.
Gil, this is Reggie Carter, the linebacker we keep talking about. He came free off the defensive left side, almost blocked the kick. I don't even know if he made contact with Hunter Thornton. You saw all the crowd right below us here in the press box yell no simultaneously, and despite that, the flag still comes out. That is not a legitimate flag, not at all. That was definitely not roughing the kicker. but they gave it to him anyway, although they are conversing in the middle of the field, and they have picked the flag up. Let's see what gets sorted out here. I do not think that was legitimate roughing the kicker call.
We await.
And you'd hate to see at such a pivotal time in the game, Gil, 11:41 in the fourth quarter, for a call to really affect the outcome of this game. We don't know if it will or not, but you really hate to see that.
And also postseason aspirations for both these football teams.
Now, the good news is, Gil, that we already know who the 4 teams that are going to make the playoffs in the region, but seeding's so important.
On the play, we have running into the kicker by the defense. That penalty is declined. First down, South Gwinnett.
So, Gil, there's a difference between the running into and the roughing. The running into is a 5-yard penalty and would not have yielded a first down. So they went ahead and just stuck with the kick. Had it been roughing the kicker, they would have given him a 15-yarder, and it would have been a penalty. He made a little bit more contact with Thornton than I thought. I'm glad they didn't call that a roughing, because I don't believe that would have been an accurate call, and now South Gwinnett has their opportunity to stake their claim to a region title in the fourth quarter if they can put together a drive.
3 wide to the far side, and on the edge, that's Boyd. And a flag. And chippiness between these two teams. And again, more flags, and we're going to get an unsportsmanlike penalty.
And they should. They've got to get sophomore number 73, Greg Thompson, off the field. He has thrown an absolute hissy fit as his coach walks over and tries to calm him down. He jumped up off the turf and tried to get in somebody's business. His teammates stopped him, but he continued to run his mouth, and so they threw an unsportsmanlike flag on him. There was no contact. There was no pushing or shoving. He just simply got upset. And you can see he's really hot over there on the sideline. But you cannot make a mistake like that, Gil, in the fourth quarter of the biggest game of your season. You've got to be able to compose yourself.
No question about it. And the coaching staff going over there talking to him. He blew a gasket. Now you see Coach Small in his face, telling him just how important what he did affects this football team. We need you, and we can't have any of that.
Yep. And he said a couple other things as well, Gil, in a very stern manner.
He's still talking to him.
You see a replay here. And there you see 73. He does get a late hit. Parkview's been very aggressive up to the whistle. That was Shaq Vereen laying him out.
Yeah.
And so he has a right to be a little bit aggravated, but he's got to be able to compose himself here. That is a cheap shot by Shaq Vereen. Vereen, a very good player. He's the one that picked that pass off early in the game and took it down to the 12-yard line, but he's got to be able to compose himself after that, because, Gil, it's never the first guy that gets the call. It's always the guy that loses it afterwards who gets the call. And although it was a cheap shot.
There are 2 penalties on the play. The first penalty is a hold by the offense. That penalty is declined. We will proceed to second down. During the course of the penalty, we have a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Blue. Half the distance of the goal, second down.
And
Coach Small's still talking to Greg Thompson.
He is. And let's point something out. I don't want to be too hard on the young man. Thompson plays a major role for this football team as a sophomore, Gil. This is a young man who's probably 15, 16 years old. This is a huge learning experience for him, and no better guy to deliver that learning experience than his coach. Coach handled it absolutely perfectly. John Small going over, telling his young man what he did wrong, and he'll live to fight another down. And now Small's got to deal with what's going on the football field and his offense being backed up again deep in their own territory. Third time tonight they've been backed up very deep in their own territory, and they desperately need a drive on offense. This turned into one heck of a football game, Gil. We thought this might have all the makings of maybe an offensive battle. Turns out it's been a defensive battle.
The Comets facing 2nd and 10 at their own 22, and like Trey said, they're pinned back courtesy of that penalty on Greg Thompson. 7-all, 11:33 in regulation. Second and long at the 14.
false start.
Prior to the snap, we have a false start by the offensive lineman. Remains second down.
That's another sophomore, Gil. Number 62, Anthony Pittman. I believe it was him that flinched. Things not going well right now, to say the least, for the South Gwinnett offense. The good news is they've got the football, but they've got a lot of work to do, Gil. 2nd and 26.
Ramey in the end zone. Under pressure, escapes, still on his feet. Gets over the 5, 10, 15, 20, steps out of bounds at about the 21. And Vereen was over there. But a great way to make something out of nothing, because that had disaster written all over it.
Well, Gil, if he just curls up in a fetal position here, he's going down for the count. Or if he steps forward, he does a great job of backing up and getting behind his blockers and picking up almost all the penalty yardage from the previous 2 plays. So now 3rd down and manageable. This is the biggest play of the game so far for South Gwinnett. You got to think with 11:21 to go on the clock, and the way that Parkview likes to control the clock, they may only get the ball 3, maybe 4 more times if they can force some 3 and outs. They've got to capitalize on these possessions at some point.
3 wide to the far side. Ramey under pressure, and he dumps it off, and it falls incomplete at about the 15. But Ramey was under a lot of pressure, and like you said all night, Trey, Parkview can play some D.
They sure can.
They get in your face.
And Ramey's been running for his life. If he's able to set his feet and throw, he's one of the most dangerous passers that we've seen so far this year, but rarely has he been able to do that. And once again, it's Kyle Williams back there, the senior linebacker, who has been harassing Ramey all night long, and now they have to punt. You could see Parkview for the 3rd time tonight start the ball inside South Gwinnett territory. Not a good punt either.
Spivey will take it at his own 6 and punt it, and it is down by Marshall at about the South Gwinnett 47-yard line, where Parkview will take over 1st and 10, and Marshall goes over to talk to Cecil Flo, and they're going to have a short field to work with, Trey.
Yeah, it looks like Marshall's okay after he took that hit by Colton Nash on the last drive on that long scramble on 3rd and long. He's back in the football game, and Gil, this is the 3rd time tonight that Parkview has started a drive inside South Gwinnett territory. The good news for South Gwinnett, they've only capitalized on 1 of those occasions and scored a touchdown, but this is not where you want Parkview starting at in the 4th quarter with the region championship on the line.
Marshall under center, 1st and 10 at the 47. That's Veal in motion and spinning and getting over the 45 down to about the 44. Let's go down to Raven Dorado.
Hey, Gil, thanks. We've got a huge upset alert. Colquitt County has beaten Camden County in the last few seconds of the game. Camden County went for a 55-yard field goal, but it was no good. They also missed a 2-point conversion earlier in the 4th quarter, and those points obviously cost them. Back to you guys.
Trey, are you kidding me, huh?
Unbelievable, Gil.
Yes.
Nellie's called it the region of doom all year. That's exactly why. You have the potential number 4 team in the region beating the number 1 team in the region and the state.
That's a Wildcat, and that's Rosser. And he gets down to a 1st down yardage. 13-12 the final. Colquitt County. Rush Probst continues to do it, doesn't he?
And I believe Nellie can clear this up, but by virtue of Camden's win over Lowndes early in the season, I believe Camden will maintain the number 1 seed in the region because it's their first loss of the season, if I'm not mistaken. But now everything else gets jumbled up below that.
See Rosser out of the Wildcat, turning the edge. In hot pursuit is Carter. And he is close to 1st down yardage.
You know, Justice Rosser was described by Coach Flo this week as a 48-minute man because he plays hard for 48 minutes. This is the kind of guy you want on your football team in the 4th quarter. You can just turn around and give him the ball, and he's going to earn every single inch that he gets. Parkview does not care how long this drive takes. As long as they can move the chains, they'll be happy with 3.34 yards per carry if that's what they get, and just eke out 1st downs and drive the ball down the field and salt this clock away and try to get some points on the board. But their special teams efforts, Gil, have been a little shaky as well.
During the play, we have a personal foul by the offense. That's a 15-yard penalty. We will replay 2nd down.
So that'll wipe out the run by Rosser. And Cecil Flo, you see the expression, the reaction. What, huh?
Well, we haven't pointed it out here in the booth until the Shaq Vereen hit on Thompson earlier, but Parkview, since this half started, has been very, very chippy. And when I say playing to the whistle, they've been going a little beyond the whistle. Playing hard, but going just a little beyond the whistle. They're lucky that that's their very first personal foul call. Both these two teams have so much on the line. It's getting real chippy down there.
And Trey, while we're here, let's wish the best wishes to your former coach and our former broadcast buddy, Dave Hunter. Dave, Coach, you better be taking care of yourself. I'm going to get Beverly after you. We hear you ain't taking your meds, so we want you to take care of yourself and get better. 10-20 here in the final period, 7-all. One of his old adversaries. And Coach Flo, you see the penalties right now. 7 for 55 yards for Parkview. South Gwinnett 5 for 40.
Parkview backed up here, Gil, with a long down and distance on second down.
And let's see how they respond. 2nd and 11 at the 49. Veal among the receivers to the near side. And spinning and getting nowhere. No gain, and that is Richard Walker. And the high snap and the give to Walker, and he stumbles.
That is
and Carter again among those on the stop.
That's a teaching tool right there. That replay, Carter taking on the block in the hole, determining which way Walker's going to go, then shedding the block off, stepping up and making a huge tackle. That's why Coach Mark Rick loves that young man. He'll be graduating in December from South Gwinnett, enrolling early in Georgia. He'll be with them for spring practice.
You're exactly right. And I was talking to his mama before the game. He starts in January.
Yeah.
They're going to get him going, getting right up to Athens, ready to go. But they prepared him academically, and that's what it's all about. They had a game plan. There's a play fake. Rosser decided to duck in instead of passing, and he's going to eat the football.
And Gil, this is exactly why we keep talking about it's not favorable. Well, it's really not. I mean, it's not favorable for any team to be behind in the down and distance 3rd and long, but Parkview especially, because they don't have a good passing game. And so you line up on 3rd and long, and you don't even have your passing quarterback lined up under center. You've got Justice Rosser lined up there, and you have to run a gimmicky play that yields 0 yards. You've got to punt the ball away to South Gwinnett. Right now, it's more of a who wants this football game in the 4th quarter.
There you go. Took the words out of my mouth. Hunter Thornton stands at his own 35. Back to receive is Morrison. A low snap, and it gets through his legs, and that's a loose football. And he's still running for his life. And he is going to get tackled, and who was there? Our good buddy Reggie Carter, who just blew up the play. And South Gwinnett in great field position with 8:26 in regulation.
Gil, we've been waiting for the big mistake that determines perhaps the outcome of the game. There you see DeConte Davis bearing down, forcing Thornton out to the right, and then there's Reggie Carter to clean up the mess. Parkview, the beneficiary of a mistake by Parkview for the first time tonight. Parkview already had an interception early in the game. They weren't able to capitalize. Now, for the first time tonight, South Gwinnett has an opportunity to capitalize on a Parkview mistake and start rarely inside Parkview territory, not backed up in their own territory.
Atchison and Gainey among those. A little razzle-dazzle. Morrison ahead, and the pass is incomplete. He had Corey Keel at the 5. And there's a flag on the play.
Flags in the backfield. I think they're going to call an illegal forward pass. They're going to say that the initial pass out to Bernard Morrison was a forward pass. Therefore, he's ineligible to throw another forward pass. I love the play call right there, Gil. Corey Kill was wide open, just dropped the football. Illegal forward pass, I believe, is going to be the call.
Here we go. Let's listen in.
We have an illegal forward pass by the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. With a loss of down, we will advance to second down.
Here's a replay. Trey McDaniel, what did we see?
Well, this initial pass has to be a lateral, and oh boy, that's awfully close.
Yes, it is.
Because he is ineligible to throw the ball down the field. You cannot have 2 forward passes on the same play. You can have a lateral and then a forward pass. That was awfully close. It's a judgment call by the officials. You can't fault them at all because it was right there on the edge. But the loss of down probably hurts worse than the penalty.
Second and long, and the pass is complete to Gainey. After the play fake, and we have a roughing the passer. And that looks like it's going to be on Kyle Williams.
It is.
And they're going to tack on after that on the reception by Gainey.
Yeah, and Williams is going to talk some trash back there. He doesn't really have the right to do it. That's our third roughing the passer call tonight. 2 on Parkview, 1 on South Gwinnett. And so after the huge penalty that backs them up on the illegal forward pass, they get a nice gain in the passing game and a roughing the passer, which is an after the play penalty. So you get the beneficial, or excuse me, you get the benefit of the yards gained plus the penalty.
By the defense, that results in 15 yards added to the end of the run. That's a first down.
And Gil, I love this. We were a little critical of the officials earlier, or I was, with the roughing the kicker. They're doing exactly what they should right now, because right now, if they don't rein these young men in, this game could get out of hand. That is a great call right there. They've got to send a message to these young men that they've got to play within the rules.
Hutchison to the near side. They line up L.J. Gainey. Showtime in the slot. Ramey to Morrison, slips, evades a tackler, still on his feet, a tight rope back in the end zone. Touchdown, South Gwinnett. 19 yards.
Great play fake. You freeze the defensive end. A wonderful hands catch. Corey Keel, nice block downfield. He missed his initial block, but he didn't give up, something Coach Small really raved about when we talked to him this week. His wide receiver's ability to block downfield. It was Corey Keel's block that enabled Morrison to get into the end zone. All of a sudden, the tide of this game is turned.
Matthias Jonas's extra point is no good. So our score stands at 13-7. One more look at this touchdown by Mr. Morrison in the flat. Touchdown replay by TCSG and a tightrope back. 13-7 in Snellville.
You have to seize any advantage you can get to build a career, even while you're still in high school. That's why the Technical College System of Georgia offers dual enrollment. You earn college and high school credit at the same time, saving you money on college tuition. It's about your future. Dual enrollment jumpstarts your college education and prepares you for work in exciting career fields. Talk to your parents, school counselor, or at TCSG College about dual enrollment, or go to tcsg.edu.
Gaze into the future where influenza outbreaks are a thing of the past.
Some estimates go as high as 60 million people died from influenza.
Where disease carriers can be identified in seconds.
My goal is to make it easier for people to get flu vaccinations.
Or a single vaccination can protect you from every strain, past, present, and future. That's what's being envisioned by scientists here in Georgia and created in your backyard. Catch the first edition of The Future Files, Tuesday at 8.
Back here in the fourth on a touchdown for the South Gwinnett Comets. And I'll tell you what, Morrison got his way in the end zone. You see the scoring drive brought to you by our good friends at TCSG. Learn more, earn more. 3 plays, 36 yards. You saw the elapsed time, and he got a little help, Trey, as he did the tightrope act down that right sideline to get in.
Well, you see Keel blocking Bryce Lewis there. Doesn't make an especially good block the first time, but then lays a nice block on Hunter Thompson. And a tightrope act, just like you said, Bernard Morrison, he's the guy that we knew in the second half they were going to have to get involved if they wanted to win. So far, they've been successful doing so. That missed PAT deal could loom large, because although Parkview has been unsuccessful in the field goal department, they've been pretty accurate so far this year on PATs.
Real short kick. by Lindsey, taken by one of the up men for Parkview, number 9, Kurt Hickman. And look, he gets to the 40-yard line.
And Gil.
And yes, that's what you don't want to see.
No.
A lot of talking, and the referees are right in the middle of it because sideline wars can develop into something bigger.
Absolutely, because you got your entire team over there. The coaches and the officials did a good job of diffusing that situation. And Gil, one thing that stuck out to me on our TCSG scoring drive was it was a 24-second drive. Remember, set up by a bad snap on the punt. Reggie Carter tackles Hunter Thornton inside Parkview territory, and they're able to capitalize on the short field, something they had not had up to that point in the football game. Most of their drives had started deep in their own territory. So a mistake leads to 6 points for South Gwinnett.
Wow, we got a penalty.
After the player had been out of bounds, we have a dead ball, personal foul on the South Gwinnett team, 15 yards, first down.
You're right, Trey. The officials are getting in to try to clean it up. Coach Small's saying, what? Huh?
Well, both coaches understand how costly a 15-yard penalty can be in this football game. It's the last game of the season. Region championships, if not seeding, is on the line. Less than 8 minutes to go in the game. This is the time when you expect your seniors to step up and be leaders, be poised, keep their composure, and hopefully lead your team to a victory.
7:54 and counting down. And the handoff taken by Rosser. He gets over the 40 down to about the 39 of South Gwinnett. South Gwinnett leading 13-7. They get the touchdown by Mars, but fail on the PAT, and 13-7 is where we stand right now. Like Trey said, so much at stake in Region 8. We already know that Grayson has defeated Brookwood. So as Trey said, it comes down to seeding and where everybody's going to go. 2nd and 8 at the 40. 7:17 to go. Full house backfield, and they're going to work out of the Wildcat. The high snap, and on the keeper and turning on the edge as Rosser, he has open field, still on his feet, and a flag thrown on the play as Rosser clears the 30 down to about the 29. And when you see that type of play, you look for a hole, Trey.
Yeah, on the perimeter blocking, it comes in the neighborhood of what would be a hold downfield, maybe perhaps by a wide receiver or a tight end or a halfback blocking for Rosser. They had those 2 halfbacks lined up behind the tight end on the right side. Perhaps one of them was downfield holding.
A nice split screen of the 2 coaches. Cecil Flo on your left and Coach Small of South Gwinnett on your right.
During the play, there's a hold by the offense. 10-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
There's your hold right there in the middle of the screen. I thought it might have come downfield near where the tackle was made because that's where the flag went down, but a blatant hold. Another good call. Boy, oh boy, they're keeping these officials busy here in the 4th quarter.
Yes, they are. And you know, we've seen a whole lot of yellow when we started this thing.
We're a bad omen
in August, right?
Every time we show up,
Corky
so
Kell.
do the flags.
And we've gotten a heavy dose of it here tonight. 7:02 as we approach this 7-minute mark. 13-7 in a dandy of a football game here in Snellville. South Gwinnett out in front. And Marshall, plenty of time loading up. He's going to go on the perimeter. Still going to keep it and tuck it. And get over the 40 down to about the 35-yard line of South Gwinnett.
Gil, you can tell that Parkview isn't comfortable passing. Just watch Mac Marshall here take his drop. 2 conventional crossover steps, then he just starts to backpedal and survey the field. I believe he made the right decision here. And he also made the right decision to stay in bounds for an extra 4 or 5 yards to pick up those extra yards, because before that play, Gil, if he throws for an incompletion, it's going to be 3rd down and 12. Instead, they've got 3rd down and 3 or 4. They actually can, with some confidence, run the ball here and hope to pick up the 1st down. It'll be an interesting play call, though.
You're right, 3rd and short. 3rd and 5 at the 36 under the 7-minute mark, 6:52. And a timeout.
Parkview's going to talk about this. They know this could be their best opportunity to score as the fourth quarter ticks down under 7 minutes, Gil. They may only get the ball one more time after this, and they don't know when their drive's going to start. This is a great opportunity here inside South Territory.
John Nelson, talk to me.
All right, it's time to get all of your brackets out. Time for a little bracketology. We'll start with the new look of Region 1-6A after Colquitt's upset of Camden. Nothing changes at 1 and 2, but you see who the 3 is and who the 4 is. Valdosta's 38-36 win over Colquitt 2 weeks ago. That's what makes Valdosta the 3 and Colquitt the 4. Robbie Pruitt did a great job with Coffee to make them 5-5. So now, how do things stack up next week? With the 1 being Camden, it looks like it's going to be Hillgrove that's going to have to make the trip all the way down to Kingsland. McEachern, on the flip side, will be getting Colquitt, traveling all the way up from Moultrie to head to Powder Springs and Cantrell Stadium. Right now, North Cobb is winning, Marietta is winning, so if you take North Cobb as your 2, they would get Valdosta at home, and then if Marietta continues to beat Harrison as things stand, Marietta would have to travel down to the Concrete Palace in Martin Stadium to take on Lowndes. That's Region 1 versus Region 4 for Game 11, guys.
Marshall on the edge on the keeper. He has open space and open field over the 25, down to the 20, and gets pushed out of bounds, close to the 20-yard line. And this was a bootleg.
Brilliant play call right here. Because of the third down and manageable, you just put the ball in your quarterback's hand. He runs a naked bootleg. It's a legit hit by Mason Hart, although Marshall calling for a flag, but it was a legit hit, but a brilliant play call by Coach Flo in a crucial situation. They do have to score a touchdown here, Gil, but because of the missed extra point, if they score and put an extra point through, they're going to have a 1-point edge, and their defense has been awfully stingy, but they've got to get into the end zone.
1st and 10 at the 22. 6:45 counting down. That's Marshall. That's Rawson. And he gets brought down by Carter inside the 15 down to about the 14. You know, John talked about the playoffs, and starting next Friday, we kick off our start of high school football, the playoffs, and our road to the Dome. Starting at 7:30, we bring you the all-access pass pregame show with the Cheerleader Challenge, and we show you what's cooking with Charmin, Mark Harmon, and David Zelski catches the school spirit, all that, plus John's Georgia, and much, much more. Tune in for a wonderful and exciting pregame show as we kick off the playoffs live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, only on GPB. Second and 3 at the 15. That's Rosser. He's still on his feet, spinning around, and then gets finished off over on the right side. Carter over there, Nash over there as well, Trey.
Colton
Great
Nash
pursuit.
having a great game. Colton Nash's job in this 3-4 look is to contain. He holds him up long enough for Carter to come clean it up, and now you got 3rd down and very, very short. Obviously a 4-down territory, so in essence, you've got 2 downs to pick up a half yard if you're Parkview. If you can't do it, you may not win this football game. If you can, you've got a great opportunity to win it.
You get a look at Reggie Carter. He's an outstanding night here tonight, and you take a look at his counterpart across the other way, Rosser, who's already scored a touchdown. 3rd and 1. And that is a 1st down on the keeper by Marshall, and it'll be 1st and goal. 5:06 to go. And they just pushed it straight ahead. Confidence in that big offensive line.
And Gil, they're going to spot the ball just shy of the 10. So it won't quite be 1st and goal, I don't believe, but it'll be 1st and 10 from the 11. So they could pick up another 1st down at the 1-yard line if they need to. Right now, South Gwinnett's got to try to bow up and get a stop here. And if they continue to run more time off this clock, South Gwinnett may have to think about using the last 2 timeouts that they have so their offense can have the ball.
It is a 1st down. And Marshall, and on the edge, and spinning and getting in the end zone for a touchdown is Rosser. Justice Rosser, his 2nd touchdown of the night for Parkview. 11 yards. Trey, we're knotted up at 13 pending the extra point. This is big.
Rosser just wills his way into the end zone. He bounces this ball outside. It's designed to go inside the tackle, and he becomes the beneficiary of a nice block downfield. I couldn't catch the number, but he had a wide receiver down there.
Mole.
It was
Mole was the great block for him.
Springs him into the end zone, and man, Parkview answers back.
Tyler Stevenson on the extra point, and this is big, folks. And let's listen in and watch. And it just got through. Parkview has seized out in front, the touchdown by that gentleman. And the extra point by Stevenson, 14-13. Parkview out in front, 4:36 left in regulation.
Football Fridays in Georgia on GPB is made possible in part by Regions Bank. It's time to expect more. Georgia's Electric Membership Corporation, lighting the way. Technical College System of Georgia, learn more, earn more. And by viewers like you, thank you.
14-13, Parkview, courtesy of the touchdown by that gentleman, Justice Rosser. And the Parkview scoring drive brought to you by our good friends from TCSG. Learn more, earn more. 9 plays, 58 yards. You saw the elapsed time, and here we go, Trey McDaniel.
Gil, it's not designed to go outside, and you nailed it. Mole on the outside, springing his big tail back in for a touchdown. Rosser's second touchdown of the night, 7th on the year, 83 very tough yards, mostly here in the 3rd and 4th quarter. Coach called him a fiery guy who plays for 48 minutes. He's needed to so far tonight, and now South will get their shot to stake their claim to a Region 8 title. Gil, South Gwinnett scored 2 touchdowns tonight. The combined time of those 2 drives was around 4 minutes. So 4 minutes and 36 seconds is an eternity for this offense. The question is, you've got your best unit on the field and your offense against Parkview's best unit on the field, their defense. We'll see what can happen. I have a feeling it's going to be the Jordan Ramey, Bernard Morrison, LJ Gainey show, and we'll see if they can get Corey Keel involved in the game plan for the first time tonight, Gil. He is their leading receiver coming into this game with 24 catches and 9 touchdowns, and he was the offensive player of the week last week against Brookwood.
Well, they have those 4 wideouts are an outstanding, and Ramey is going to keep it. He's over the 30, up to the 32, and gets a first down. First down, South Gwinnett. But, you know, you talk about Rosser filling in for Chris Carson, and of course Carson, the broken leg, the tibia. They thought it could be a possible torn ACL. He got a couple of opinions and MRIs, and what Rosser has done here tonight has been outstanding. You see the timeouts remaining. That's what's left. South Gwinnett, Coach Small has 2 in his hip pocket. Coach Flo has 1 in his, and of course our Trey McDaniel will keep us abreast of that. Morrison taps Ramey, but he's going to give it to, it looked like it was Boyd, correct? It is Boyd. Over the 35-yard line up to about the 36-yard line. Williams, Kyle Williams, we've called 21's number just like we've called Carter's number here tonight. Those 2 have been very active.
Great pair of linebackers. Both will move on to play at the next level. Williams hasn't quite decided where he's going to play. Looks
whoever
from
gets him.
Indiana, Troy, Colorado State, Ohio. Coach Carter going to Georgia.
In the razzle-dazzle, they go the opposite way, and Ramey takes it from Morrison. And they're waiting for him right there, and they're going to bring him down at about the 40-yard line. And Kimball on the stop, the outstanding corner for Cecil Flo.
Trishard Kimball.
And that's going to be very short.
Trishard Kimball. Bryson actually tried to strip the ball away here, which was a nice move. He held Ramey up. He wasn't fooled by the trickery. Tried to get the ball out here and also tried to keep Ramey in bounds, and he did because the clock continues to run.
We're closing in on the 3-minute mark.
Big play right here, Gil. They do not want to put this to 4th down. They need to pick the first down up here.
3rd and short. That's Boyd on the edge. He got first down yardage and just enough close to it. And he was brought down. Let's see, it'll depend on his spot. And Williams there on the tackle.
They ran
this. It's going to be a little short. look like he got it up here, but it depends on the spot. You see the split screen of the two coaches.
He'll be about a yard short based on the spot. Gil, they've ran that play where it's student body left in this case. They ran it to the right side several times to the short side of the field when they were going the other direction, and they just brought in a huge personnel changes, including defensive end Weston Simmons and linebacker Reggie Carter, both on this 4th and short, and they're going to call timeout. And think about it, I believe it's South Gwinnett who called this timeout. They did. Now each team has one remaining.
And remember when they tried to get Simmons involved in the touchdown pass that he dropped and made him a tackle. John Nelson, it's all yours.
Thank you, GT. Let's go into the Wayback Machine. We'll take you back to Cecil Flo's second state championship in 2000. And for that, we go to the big orange jungle. And it was so foggy in that swale that we actually lost one of our high cameras. As you kind of see Dawkins go for the touchdown there. Key moment right here, as it was a block punt or a muck punt, call it whatever you want. Game tied at 7. But from there on, it was all Parkview. Dropping back to pass, and you'll find one of the numbers 12, some guy by the name of Francoeur. Frenchie with the catch. Nice move to the inside. Parkview goes on for the win, 21-7, for their first of 3 straight championships and the 46th straight that they won in a row back upstairs.
South Gwinnett went for it, and they got it. First down now, Trey.
And who was leading the way, Gil? Reggie Carter.
Right. Put in the football game because he's a playmaker. You see the students who've come here, part of the big crowd. 2:14 and counting down, 14-13. The Comets in the hurry up, and that's Morrison with the hurdle.
Gil, I don't understand this call right here because you only have 1 timeout remaining, and there is no 2-minute warning in high school football. The clock will continue to run. The ground game is not how you make your hay in this offense. You've got to put the ball in the air.
Kimball Brinson on the stop. You take a look at the total yards, Trey. Parkview with 181. South Gwinnett with 278. Top of your screen is what we have left in regulation. Ramey out of the shotgun. And he has his receiver, and that is Atchison. He threw a touchdown, Atchison, early. He's close to midfield. Into Parkview territory at about the 47-yard line.
Gil, they said
he's short of a first down.
Yep, and they said he stayed in bounds, so the clock will continue to run.
And the clock continues
much
to run.
Much to the chagrin of the South Gwinnett fans who thought he got out of bounds.
The spread look. And Ramey. And still on his feet. Is that Boyd? Yes, it's Boyd, and he is brought out of bounds by Vereen. Great run by Boyd.
And they're going to say the young man got out of bounds. What do I know? I'm criticizing him for running the ball. Look at this.
Vereen tackled him out of bounds.
Holy cow, best run of the night.
Second level.
By Josh Boyd.
Third level.
Second level, third level, second effort, third effort, first down, clock stopped.
1st and 10 at the Parkview 32. Ramey under pressure, gets away on the edge, gets in the middle, crosses the 30, still on his feet, stumbling and bumbling down inside the red zone, down to the Parkview 19.
Do they call their last timeout?
39 seconds to go. You take a look at the kicker for South Gwinnett.
The first down will stop the clock until they set the ball, and then it'll go. They've got 1 timeout in their hip pocket, Gil, which means the whole field is available to them. Kicking game has been suspect. How weird would it be if they won the game with a field goal after missing a PAT?
You got to look at Matthias Jonas, and
they just clocked it.
He clocked it for South Gwinnett Ramey, so they'll talk about it. What do you say? Give me your you're sitting up here, man. I want to put you in Coach Small's chair.
If I'm in Coach Small's chair, I find some kind of high percentage pass in space to Bernard Morrison, and you see what he can do after the catch. Let him improvise, do whatever he needs to do on any part of the field he needs to do it on, because you've got the timeout at your disposal.
30 seconds to go, and a wild one here in Snellville. Ramey, the screen, incomplete.
They hope it's incomplete. It is incomplete, and Parkview, or excuse me, South wants it to be incomplete right there, Gil, because it stops the clock.
It'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go. Trey McDaniel, it goes back to that extra point.
Yep, and from here, Gil, it would be a 37-yard field goal. No field goal attempts so far this season for Jonas Mattias. Roberto Lindsay is 1 of 3. His long is 26. Only one made field goal this season, a 26-yarder.
Ramey on the edge, under heavy pressure. He's going to keep it. He stumbles over the 15, gets out of bounds. With about 18 ticks to go.
Carrying him on his shoulders, Gil. Jordan Ramey understands, Gil, that he is the best athlete on the field. He's not been panicked once tonight when he's pressured. He understands that he can outrun any of those defenders to the corner. He's got supreme confidence in his ability, and he gets out of bounds. It's 4th down right here, Gil. They have a huge decision to make, and they're going to call timeout and talk about it, because you either kick the field goal here or you go for it on 4th down. You don't make it, you lose.
But we talked about that on the conference call. No confidence in your kicking game, and you said, what, your 4 downs, right? Correct? What did you talk about up top? They're going to use all 4 downs.
Well, he said, and I quote, if we are inside Parkview's 40-yard line, it is a 4-down proposition. Now, I don't think he was talking about 18 seconds to go in the game with a region championship or region seeding on the line. It'd be a 31-yard field goal from this point on the football field. They've made 1 field goal this season. It was a 26-yarder by Roberto Lindsay, who's already missed a field goal tonight from 27 yards.
John Nelson, talk to me.
Okay, let's talk about what could happen here. The 2 versions of what could go down. Parkview hangs on. They get the region championship. South Gwinnett is the 3 seed because Grayson won earlier this evening. If South Gwinnett gets the win here, Grayson's your number 1. South Gwinnett's the 2. Parkview drops all the way to the 3 seed next week when the playoffs start. That's what's on the line.
They're lining up for the field goal train. It looks like it's going to be Lindsay. Roberto Lindsay, the 5'9", 160-pound sophomore.
He's already missed a field goal in the 3rd quarter tonight. His long of the season is 26, this from 31.
And it'll be out of the hold of Mason Hart.
Parkview will burn their last time out of the game, Gil. No more timeouts. After this timeout, the game will hang in the balance.
Trey McDaniel, how do you end a regular season like this?
This is the punctuation, Gil, on the regular season that we've been talking about. John Nelson's been talking all night about 48 regions across the state. I think 21 or 22 of them are up for grabs tonight. And we've got one of the best in the state right now. I believe Grayson beat Brookwood tonight, so Grayson would win the region if South wins this football game. Parkview, as we've mentioned, controls their own destiny right here. This field goal does not go through the uprights. Parkview will be the Region 8 champs.
Tell you what, we've had so many great football games, great people we've met over the years, and I mean over the season and over this year, who've helped us bring you the best high school football coverage in the great state of Georgia, bar none.
Gil, his last field goal that he missed in the 3rd quarter, he pulled drastically to the left.
Roberto Lindsay with 18 ticks on the clock. High snap. The kick is up, and it is good. Good. The Comets have taken the lead with 13 ticks on the clock. Wow.
How poetic, Gil, that they've made 1 field goal all season. Their coach has no confidence whatsoever in their ability to kick a field goal, so much so that they missed an extra point, which is what put them in this predicament, and they make a 31-yard field goal. Perfect punctuation on their season. There is 13 seconds to go in this football game, though.
It was a high snap, but I'll tell you something. Mason Hart was able to get that thing down, and Lindsay nailed it. Roberto Lindsay, are you kidding me, huh?
And Coach Small had to get his players off the field. They were going ballistic. There are 13 ticks to go in this football game. Let's talk about the other field goal kicker on the other side, Gil. Coach Flo said, my kicker is hot and cold. There are days where he can't make a 20-yarder, and there are other days where he can make a 50-yarder. He's already missed, Tyler Stevenson, a 27-yard field goal in this football game. There's 13 seconds to go. We'll see how the return is. South Gwinnett has done a good job so far tonight, Gil, on the kickoff. Field position will be everything here on the first play from scrimmage for Parkview, and they burn their only timeout to try to freeze the kicker there so they cannot stop the clock.
Let's talk about that drive. 7 plays, 66 yards. The elapsed time, 4 minutes and 23 seconds. A 31-yard field goal by Roberto Lindsay has given the Comets the lead at 16-14 with 13 ticks to go in Snellville, and this has been some kind of football game.
If Parkview can't hold on, or Parkview can't come back to win this game, Gil, their fate will go from the number 1 seed all the way down to the number 3. And look at this.
That was Vereen. Vereen took it, advanced it over midfield into South Gwinnett territory, pushed out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. They got 6 ticks to work with.
The last thing that you can have happen for South Gwinnett is this, because it sets Parkview up with good field position with 6 seconds to go. They can run a sideline pass to try to pick up 8 or 10 yards and then try to kick an extremely long field goal for the win. 0 timeouts because they burned the last one they had to try to freeze out Roberto Lindsay, who nailed the 31-yard field goal to give them a 2-point lead.
You got to look at the Parkview bench. And this, how much time is left? 6 ticks to go at the top of your screen.
They're going for all the marbles, Gil.
Throwing it long, deep in the end. And it is broken up at the 10-yard line, and ball game is over. 16-14, South Gwinnett with the win. How about that, Trey McDaniel?
South Gwinnett will sew up the number 2 seed. They wished they could have won the region, but it wasn't in their hands. Grayson beats Brookwood, but they take the number 2 seed in the playoffs, knock Parkview all the way down from a potential region champ to the number 3 seed.
What a finish. Downstairs to John Nelson. Nelly, it's all yours.
Thank you, GT. Let's talk about the decision to kick the field goal. What was going through your mind?
Well, we've struggled in the kicking game all year with field goals, kind of going back and forth. And, you know, we went for one earlier and missed it. But we had to do that in that situation, and the kid kept believing. We told him just have confidence. We do it in practice every Wednesday. He makes them in practice. We've struggled in the game a little bit, but the kids were behind him. The kids stepped up, made a big kick for us. Can't say enough about our whole team. They battled the whole time. Parkview's got a great football team, and a heck of a ball game. Proud of both sides and glad to get the win tonight.
Now you're a 2 seed. You get a home game next week.
Yeah, it's a huge accomplishment for our kids. They set a goal at the beginning of the season to host a playoff game, and they reached their goal. We fell short of the region championship, but these kids fought all year, and I'm very proud of them.
Congratulations. We'll catch up with you in the playoffs.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Let's send it over to Mark Harmon, best seat in the house. Playoffs are now officially getting underway.
The playoffs officially are getting underway. It'll be the Grayson Rams as the region champ of Region 8 as South Gwinnett has beaten Parkview 16-14 with 13 seconds left on that field goal right there. What a finish to this game. Let's check out the highlights from tonight's game as South Gwinnett wins it 16-14 in dramatic fashion over the Parkview Panthers. There was no score in the first quarter at all, but things started to get interesting in the second quarter of play. It was Parkview taking the lead early on. Justice Rosser, he goes 14 yards right up the middle, makes it 7-0, Panthers on top. Then it's the big play. Jordan Ramey, 45 yards to Tyrone Atchison. This tied up the game at 7-7. That's what the score was at the half. There was no scoring in the third quarter, so we moved to the fourth. Jordan Ramey to Bernard Morrison. This makes it 13-7. South Gwinnett would miss the extra point, so it remains 13-7. And then Parkview makes things interesting. They score right up the middle. Justin Rosser, his second touchdown of the day. This makes it 14-13. Parkview on top. And with 13 seconds to go, Roberto Lindsay kicks the field goal to make it 16-14. And that is your final score as South Gwinnett wins it 16-14 your final there. We now welcome in Raven Tirado. And Raven, on the GMC scoreboard, it is a great scoreboard tonight. Take it away.
Oh yes, it's some crazy football, especially this game, but we'll start off with Gainesville Flowery Branch. It was our web featured game of the week, and it didn't disappoint. 35-34 was the final score. Flowery Branch will go on over McEachern Hillgrove. McEachern won 33-30, and the final score. Brookwood 13, Grayson 42 final. Camden County 12, Colquitt County 13. They upset the number 3 team in the nation. Lassiter 34, Etowah 6, that's the final score. Norcross 56, Meadow Creek 6, Evans 0, Northside Warner Robins 10 at the half. That's our most recent score for that game. MLK 21, Miller Grove 14 final score. Carver ATL 6, Marist 42 final score. And Calhoun Chattooga, Calhoun 35, Chattooga 7, and that was our last score, and that was at the half.
All right, you've been quite busy. How about the social media
Oh,
world?
yeah, everything's been busy tonight, but social media was popping tonight as well. You can check us out on Facebook. Go ahead and go like us. You can get all the behind-the-scenes footage, pictures, videos, everything. We did some dancing today on set, and that was a lot of fun. You can also go get our GPB Sports app. It's free. Get it on your iPad or your iPhone. You get virtual tours of schools. You get score updates. You get anything you ever wanted to know about Georgia high school football. You can also follow us on Twitter, and that's about it for social media.
All right. Well, thanks very much. Good job keeping us posted on a very important day, the last day of the regular season.
Yes, and it's a very exciting day. Did not disappoint at all.
Thank you, Raven. Tonight was a hard-hitting matchup between South Gwinnett and Parkview. Let's take a look at our play of the game. The play of the game came with just 13 ticks to go. It's Roberto Lindsay. He boots a 31-yard field goal to put South Gwinnett ahead 16-14. Another look, Roberto Lindsay. He's the hero of the game as the Comets win 16-14, your final score there. What a final score we have. We bring in John Nelson for some final thoughts.
Doctor.
What do you think, man? Regular season in the books. Playoffs start next Friday.
And this is where we talked about bracketology. We had some of your brackets and some of your early matchups, but I know that folks are going to be working in both pencil and in pen for the next couple of days. The single A brackets will come out no later than Wednesday. Everybody else will be figured out by late Saturday, early Sunday. 192 teams going for 7 crowns. It's going to be a blast.
All right, tonight's win by South Gwinnett gives Grayson the championship of Region 8.
Right.
They're the defending champs in 5A. They go in as one of the favorites in 6A this year.
You've got Grayson. I still think that you look at Region 1, you've got Camden County and Lowndes chasing after it. You've got Lassiter, who finished up strong tonight. You've also got Norcross, who finished up strong. So you're looking at probably 10 to 12 teams in the top classification chasing after that first 6A crown.
Lassiter #1 going in?
I still think Camden's #1 going in, despite everything that's happened. They were #3 in the country coming into tonight. Colquitt got a great win to get into the playoffs and secure their 4 seed, but they're going to have to travel to McEachern. It's going to be a tough test.
Okay. North side, #1 in 5A.
No question about it. They're a tough front 7. It's going to be great to see how far they go.
And one of your favorites to win the whole thing in 2A.
Wow.
Double A.
Wow, Double A. How about
Calhoun?
Calhoun to be a good start. Yeah, that's a good place to start. I like that idea.
All right. All right. Well, thanks very much. That's it for our Football Fridays in Georgia. What a finish tonight. 16-14 as South Gwinnett knocks off Parkview in that one. Next week, GPB will televise the first round of the 2012 TSSA playoff. 7 teams are now 5 wins away from a state championship. Things get started with Football Fridays All Access Pass pregame show at 7:30. Then kickoff will be at 8 o'clock. The second season is just about ready to kick off, and you can follow all that action right here on GPB. You can check out the playoff brackets at www.gpb.org/sports. As soon as we know, we'll get it on the internet, and then you will know. So for all of us here at GPB and GPB Sports, thanks so much for joining us on Football Fridays in Georgia, the final regular season Friday of the year. We will have
This is a GPB original production.